Yo, boom. What's going on, faithful? It's your boy Mike from the Nothing But Niners crew. It's been a while, man. I'm happy to be back. My man Nick is here. We're going to be talking some off-season things, like some wish list type stuff, some fantasy things. But before we get down to the nitty-gritty, we want to thank you guys for checking us out here on the YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, do us a favor and click that like and subscribe button. You're also going to want to turn on the little bell. All right, that little bell, that notification icon, what that's going to do is going to get you guys immediate access to when we go live. As soon as you know we're live, you're going to want to jump in. We do breaking news videos. We had one today where the 49ers parted ways with some of the front office or coaching staff people. We'll talk about that a little bit too. But we also want you guys to check out the website, www.nothingbutniners.com. That is spelled all the way out, okay? When you guys get there, you're going to see a bunch of articles written by a bunch of great people. All right, these guys work hard to bring you guys some good work. So you guys want to check that out. You're going to appreciate it. I know I do. Also, you're going to see our social media handles, Nothing But 9ERS. That is our Twitter, and that is our Snapchat handle, Nothing But 9ERS, okay? If you want to see us on Facebook and Instagram, that is Nothing But Niners, spelled all the way out. All right, guys, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Again, I'm Mike. My handle is 49ers Mike _NF. My man Nick is here, 49er Faithful 365. What's going on, baby? How you doing?
What's up, Mike? What's up? First time I've been seeing that new hairdo you got going on there, man.
Yeah, I was going to go grab a hat, and I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to let it go, man. I don't even care. Just going to let it rock.
Yeah, man. Looks good. Looks good. I wish I could do that shit with my hair, but my shit is just, it is what it is. But yeah, man, I'm excited. I brought that breaking news earlier today. Just jumped on real quick. Had a couple viewers in there just about with the firing of Ray Wright and stuff, but I'm sure we'll get into that. So today I want to kind of like focus. I had Jonathan Rosa had text messaged me, and he said, he asked me a question. He said, what do you think it would take to get AB or OBJ? And it just got me thinking, like, maybe we should do a show on this. Like, maybe we should talk about a little bit of our fantasies of what we think for the offseason or where the Niners are headed in the offseason. And obviously we could talk about, just the upcoming offseason, the draft, free agency, who we think is going to get tagged, who we don't think is going to get tagged. Because, I mean, we've been going at it all day in the room. I have been. I really think this draft is really going to be dictated off this free agency. So I'm really excited to get into this kind of talk. And if I slur my words or anything like that, don't mind me, people. Just a little out of it. And yes, Luke, appreciate the well wishes, man. Recovery's coming along, man. Coming along.
Speaking of slurred words, look at me already. It's my mother's birthday. She is here. I am drinking a mimosa. So it's a king-size glass, obviously, but I'm going to enjoy this, and I'm going to have fun talking. I mean, what better way to get into fantasy land than under the influence? Nick has got his pills, and I've got my magic elixir over here, so we're going to have some fun with this one, all right? But before we get down to that, let's talk about this firing of Ray Wright. I have been, saying we've got to get rid of this guy. We've got to get rid of this guy. I was unhappy last season. I was unhappy when we hired him because of his track record and what was going on in Washington. So it just came to fruition here. What was it, 37 and 38 players put on IR in 2 seasons? That's insane. There's 22 starters on an NFL team, right? And you got your rotational players and all that stuff. 38 players were put on IR under his watch.
And it's not even just those last 2 years. The injury history with the 49ers has gone back 4 years or so. But specifically with Ray Wright, with 38, I think it was 38 injured reserve. That's 18 and a half a year. I think it was 38 and a half. I think that's what the true number was. But 18 and a half players a year. I mean, that's just redonkulous, man. And we were talking the other day, and, I seen a tweet come out. Somebody put out a tweet about the Hill. And we were just talking about that the other day. We were like, is that Hill still there? Are they still using that Hill? And supposedly it's still there, that they still do use it. I guess it's just not big news now because it's not something new. So I found that interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was Ray Wright's fault, but there's someone who's responsible for clearing players to get back out on the field. And when you see guys like Matt Breida coming in and out of games every single week, those guys shouldn't be cleared. And you end up doing more long-term damage than you do helping that player. And so those were the main reasons that I wanted to see him gone, or whoever's responsible for it. I don't know if that was Ray Wright or not, specifically responsible for those decisions. But whoever the culprit is, I'm hoping that it's not just Ray Wright. I hope it's Ray Wright and staff and everyone else has that microscope on them, because that's one of the moves that I wanted to see. That improves our team dramatically. If we can reduce the IR rate, and that's just IR. We're just talking about injury reserve. We're not talking about players who miss 2 or 3 games at a time. You know what I mean? Like, the number goes through the roof if you change it up a little bit, if you tweak it a little bit. You have a guy like Joshua Garnett this year who missed 5 or 6 games. He wasn't able to be active 5 or 6 games due to injury. He didn't go to IR. You had Richard Sherman miss time this year. You know what I mean? You had Breida miss a couple of games this year. Like, there were so many players in the secondary that didn't go to IR that just flat out missed games this year. So the numbers are even worse than what we're talking about. It's addition by subtraction. It's a move that the 49ers had to make. I'm happy that they made it. And I hope that the team doctor and all will put on notice also. I don't know if they're going to just look for someone else or not, but whoever it is that's clearing these players to get back out there on the field when they're obviously not ready to go out and perform to the maximum abilities or to the best of their abilities, that person should be under the microscope as well. So yeah, that's where I'm at on it. The Ray Wright thing. I hate for a person to lose their job. I never hope and cheer for a person to be fired, but reprimand them. You have to do something. You have to right the ship. And if this was the best way to do it, then by all means, you got to do
it. You know, I'm hoping that it doesn't go past the strength and conditioning coach, because then I'm a little worried about Jimmy Garoppolo if they're not listening to the doctors and shit. Because you got Garoppolo's working out again already. McKinnon's been working out. You know, like you said, with Breida's injuries, his ankle, toe injury with Garnett. You know, it just goes on and on. I mean, either way, I think we've all were in agreement that something was going on with strength and conditioning. There was too many. You know, you can't blame the broken bones and such on him, because that's football. But I mean, the muscle injuries, the ACLs, the MCLs, the quad injuries, you know, things like that are definitely for him to blame. Either way, like I said in the breaking news video, I think it was a move that needed to be made. And I'm happy that Kyle Shanahan actually seen through this, and instead of just saying, oh, well, maybe it was just a fluke year or a fluke 2 years, he actually did something about it. So I'm kind of interested to see who they bring in, and that's going to be some news to find out. I'm not sure if they're going to keep it in-house or if they're going to actually go out of house or out of stadium, I guess you should say.
Yeah. While we're talking about the coaching staff and the changes there, let's get into this whole fantasy thing, Nick. Are there any other position coaches or anything like that you would like to see brought in, or even maybe someone let go? Let's start talking about our little wish list here. Front office people, coaching staff. Are there any other changes that you want to see the 49ers make heading into the season to help us become that playoff-bound team that we want to be next season? This is the wish list time, so let's have some fun with it.
I mean, I don't really have many coaches that I want to be brought in, because I think I'm still on board with giving Saleh another chance, because I want to see him with an edge rusher and true players in position. I still don't think we should hire an offensive coordinator. I think that's just going to mess up the juju of Kyle Shanahan and what he's built here right now. I do like John Lynch as a GM right now. If anybody were to move, if we ever had to replace like a Adam Peters or something like that, I'd love to bring Scott back. But I don't think that's going to happen. So from the upper management, from upper guys to the coaching staff, I mean, I think I seen improvement with our offensive line, so I'm not after our offensive line coach. I've seen improvement with our defensive linemen. So I'm okay with the defensive line coach. I'm okay with what's the linebacker's name that's coaching? It'll come to me.
You're talking about the former player?
Yeah.
Played for the Eagles.
Yeah, he played for the Eagles. It's like right on the tip of my tongue, and I can't even think of it. Anyway, it'll come to me. I think he's doing a great job. I think Katie Sauer should stay. I think she's been We don't really see what she does, but I think she's been an inspiration to the entire NFL as well as the team. But I don't really have, like I said, the only real one I thought that should really be gone is the one that's gone. And like you said, you were on that from day one. I wasn't on the bandwagon right from the gate, but I started to get there as the year went along. Anyway, yes. Oh, somebody said D'Amico Ryans. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. I knew what it was. It was just on the tip of my tongue. I think, I think those guys are gonna excel together. And like I said, I don't want to get rid of Robert Saleh yet because I want to see him with an actual legitimate pass rusher. So if he doesn't, if this defense gets worse next year, obviously that's a change in pace there. So, but I can't. There's no coaches that I really like to touch on.
Well, I don't have anyone to replace the guy, but there are some other positions that I want to see maybe be demoted or moved around or put a fire into them. And this is going to be someone that I've been going back and forth on it, but I've decided that I think I do want him to go. It's going to be Richard Hightower, our special teams coordinator. I know that we lost a lot of really good special teams guys in Watson and what's the gunner's name that broke his arm? He was running back.
Mostert
was one of them. We moved on from Burbridge, I believe. Like there's guys that were really good on special teams that the Niners didn't have access to this season. But the special teams unit was just boring this year. It was really boring. I mean, you think back to the 2011 season, when they were the Tony Montana squad. Those guys had swag. Kickoffs were fun. The return teams were fun. Like there was juice out there. Everyone was making big hits. You didn't see it this year. It was a third phase of the game that, I've always been one of those guys where people say, "Oh, we're just going to get rid of kickoffs. We're going to get rid of kickoffs," and I'm like, no, because I loved the kickoffs when the Niners were doing it. This year, if someone were to say we're getting rid of kickoffs, I'd have been like, "Meh, they might be doing us a favor," like.
But I mean, special teams is nowhere near anywhere around the league what it used to be. Just because of the ball being moved up, mainly most of the balls are kicked out of the end zone. You'll get a return here and there. I mean, but special teams is nothing like it used to be.
You'll see in these playoffs, a couple of these teams have really good special teams units, and you're going to see it. You're going to see these guys flying around. When teams do bring the ball out, they're not getting close to the 25. I mean, it still means something. It's still very important. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying it's not an important aspect of the game. I'm just saying I don't think as much of the grain of salt should go into special teams as it used to, because it's not anywhere near the same. I mean, the only time you're really getting special teams is punt coverages, punt returns, and that's pretty much it. I mean, when there's any type of excitement because of block punt, block kick, field goals, stuff like that. But kickoffs is pretty much everything's out of the end zone and you're taking off at the 25 anyway. So, but there are some things that I do agree with you with. Hightower is like, whenever Trent Taylor was back there, it was always going to be a fair catch. They would kick it to him, and it was always going to be a fair catch. The same thing with Richie James. He looked like he was on a leash, like he wasn't allowed to take off because it was just like wait, and then fair catch. So I'd like to see something more done with that. I don't know if that's particularly is coaching or not yet, because I said it all year before before Richie James had his kickoff return was you sit there and you say, like, where's all this energy that this guy had coming from college? Like, why is he not running these balls back? And it gets a little bit frustrating because you just see fair catch after fair catch, or the ball kicked out of the end zone. So I really don't depend on any of that anymore. It's nice to have some kickoff returns and see that special teams, but I mean, your game's still pretty much people are on equal playing field now because they'll kick it off in the back of the end zone. They all start at 25. And that's pretty much what every team pretty much tries to do. But it doesn't happen all the time.
Your reaction to this is exactly why I want a new special teams coordinator. Like you're falling asleep talking about it. Like it's just ho hum. It's just part of the game. It's just what they. That's exactly my point. I want that excitement back when the Niners were out there kicking ass in the third phase of the game. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think you're going to get that back because it's not anywhere around in the league right now. It's really not. And more so or not. I mean, kickoff returns are way down this year compared to what years that they've been in past. Yeah, do you have a few here and there? Most of them are punt returns. None of it's really kickoff returns.
I have no numbers to justify or argue against what you're saying. So I don't have anything to say. I want to see more. That's my point. I want to see more. Make it happen. Give me more returns. Give me bigger tackles. You know what?
Well, I mean, I agree with you there. I want to see that excitement too. I just don't think it's going to happen. That's all. It's not that I'm blaming it on the coach. I'm just saying that I think the whole special teams in the league is pretty much dead. It's not that excitement anymore. It's not that, Tony Montana dancing, laying really, really good sticks or like laying really good wood to take a player's helmet off and stuff, because half the time these guys are afraid to hit anybody anymore anyway from being flagged. So especially coming at that full speed. So I just don't think it'll be back to what it used to be. But yeah, it is putting me to sleep. Special teams is kind of boring this year.
There's one other position that I do want to see a change done to, and I think it's really important. I think it's the defensive line coach. I'm going to butcher his name. I'm going to try to say it anyway, but his name is Jeff Zgonina. It's Zgonina.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's Gonina. It's silent. The C is silent.
It's like Skanina.
Yeah.
It's really weird how you say it, yeah.
He's got to go. I think the 49ers are still paying Jim Tomsula. We should give him a call and try to bring him back.
Well, why? Why, though? Like, I went over and I said, I think our defensive line did progress. Like, why would you want to – how did they not? Solomon Thomas started playing better when he started playing the right position. Eric Armstead had a better year than he's had. DeForest Buckner had a career year. The youth, DJ Jones and Sheldon Day, and everybody has progressed. So who has gone down? Like, why would you say defensive line coach?
I'm not seeing progression. I'm seeing a lot of these guys playing the same way. You're talking about Eric Armstead improved? No, this is the Eric Armstead I've been rallying for, and my whole thing all along has been he's just not healthy enough to stay on the field. If you guys saw him play more consistently, you would see what I see. Well, we saw him consistently. You guys saw what I saw. This defensive line has so much talent on it. We should be getting way more production. We got bullied that last game of the season. Week 17 was horrible. That defensive line, including Buckner, was invisible. It was just not a good game. And it's either all or nothing. There's no kind of consistency. Get some push. Like these.
You can't really put that on. That goes with scheme too. So, that's not doing a lot of stunts. That's not doing a lot of, when Vic Fangio was here, players were moving all over the place. So, but those type of stunts and stuff like that is not on your D-line coach. That's on your defensive coordinator. Our
defensive line was way more disruptive the years that Tom Sula was here, and we were in a 3-4. Those three guys were way more disruptive than what any four guys that we're running out right now. You're talking about stunts and all, then that's scheming up something.
Right, but we shouldn't
have to scheme up something to be consistent and be good. That's what I'm saying.
Our guys are consistent.
Huh?
Our guys are consistent. They do
they're consistently bad.
They do the same shit consistently.
That's why I want to see an improvement. You're proving my point.
Right, but you're blaming it on the D-line coach when it's really the scheme. It's not the D-line coach. I can't agree with you on that.
The defensive line coach needs to get more out of the players, and that's something that I want to see.
But are
you going to debate me on everything that my fantasies are? Because if that's what we're doing, then
no. But I don't understand. I'm just trying to get a concept, because you're saying defensive line coach, but the defensive line coach doesn't call scheme. So
these guys need to win their matchups, and they're not doing it.
Okay, there you go.
That's better. At the lines is what I'm saying.
All right.
They snap the ball. They're not getting push. They're being held in place. You got to coach these guys up better. You can't tell me that when we see these guys that are super raw, like Julian Taylor, we see him dominating in college. We see him come in preseason and he's dominating. That's without scheme. No scheme involved. We see him dominating his one-on-ones when he's getting double teamed. We saw that all happening, right? And then when the scheme gets involved, he's just nothing. I'm not going to blame that all on the scheme. I know he's got the talent to beat the guy in front of him, but it vanished once he got in there. You know, it's like the more time these guys get in the system, they're just another number. They're just guys running in there. Look at how inconsistent we are. You can poll 10 49er fans about their top 5 defensive linemen, and then you're going to get probably 3 or 4 different names. You're going to have people saying that they still like Earl Mitchell. You're going to have people saying that they hate Earl Mitchell. You have people talk about Sheldon Day. They have no idea what to think about Sheldon Day, Eric Armstead. Half the fans hate Eric Armstead. I don't get it. I'm not one of those guys. I don't get it. But my point is that we're just not seeing anything consistently enough to say this guy is good, this guy is bad. We don't, like you said, we don't know if it's scheme or what. I want to see these guys win their matchups. When we had Ian Williams at nose tackle, he dominated in there. He was consistently penetrating. He might not make the tackle, but when they snapped the ball, he was beating the center and the guard. He knew how to get between those guys every time. They might run around him, but he was doing it consistently. We don't have that right now. And we're depending on fancy plays and schemes and all to try to get pressure on the quarterbacks and all.
We're talking about a huge difference in athletic ability, though, too. I mean, Ian Williams was just a baller. I mean, he really was. He was just a baller. But we got a lot of young guys. So, like you're saying with Julian Taylor. But I mean, I can see where you're coming from. You need to see more out of the players, which comes from the coach. The coach has to coach the players up to get more from them. So I agree with you there.
And then my last little fantasy as far as front office or coaching goes is I'm ready to see aggression from our GM. I'm not going to say that he's not doing a good job. I would never say that. And I heard that, we were the highest bidders for the Khalil Mack sweepstakes, but Oakland chose not to. I hear all that. I respect all that. We're never going to get the behind the scenes stuff. But this year, this offseason, if there is a free agent that the Niners want, they have to get him. No is not an acceptable answer. This offseason, if there is someone that they want in the draft, we're at number 2. No, if they want Joey Bosa and they think, Nick Bosa, my bad. If they want Nick Bosa and they think that the Cardinals are going to take him, we have to do what it takes to get him. You get what I'm saying? I want to see them walk away, and if we only get 3 guys this draft, we got the 3 guys that we wanted. I don't want us settling for anything. If we are targeting 4 guys in free agency, I want us to walk away with those 4 guys in free agency. We have been saving cap room for years. We have been accumulating and manipulating the draft, and this year we only have the 5 picks. I don't want to hear any excuses this year. I want to see us be aggressive, and I want to see them turn it into all right, now we're putting our foot down. Because listen, it was cool year 1. It was cool year 2. But guess what? Those 6-year contracts that you thought were going to last you for a long time, you're halfway through them now, buddy. This is the turning point right here. And I want to see them be more aggressive. I want them to make their fantasies come true. What we're doing right now is what they need to be doing with themselves in this boardroom. And they need to say, all right, no is not an acceptable answer.
The one thing I don't want to hear you say now after this offseason is we spent too much money on somebody. I don't want to hear it.
There's a caveat.
No.
Come on, Nick.
Do whatever it takes to come home with them. So you got to pay $35 million for a year. Got your guy.
All right. But here we go. You know how bad I want someone like Martavis Bryant. You know how bad I want someone like Kevin White. These guys better not be getting the Antonio Brown money. We got – come on now.
But if somebody wants them, you got to pay for them.
I tell you what, if they get their guys, you won't hear a word from me. I hate that McKinnon contract, but they wanted him that bad.
Dude, you hate the McKinnon contract. You hate the Malcolm Smith contract.
Oh, you hate the Malcolm Smith contract. Everybody hates
Hold on. You hated the Kyle Juszczyk contract. You hate what other contracts did you hate?
Garcon.
So every contract that they went out and got their guy, you hated. So I'm just
and all those names that you named, Malcolm Smith, bust. Garcon, come on, wasn't worth the money. Juice, come on, wasn't worth the money.
Oh, stop it.
All those guys that you named, McKinnon, injury aside, wasn't going to be worth the money. Come on, bro. All those guys you named, you know as well as I do, they weren't worth the money that they got. You know it.
I didn't mind the Juice contract because there was other people wanting him, and I wanted him. And the reason I want him is because he's not a fullback who's going to run the football, no, but his blocking game, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, his ability to line up outside is a threat. And he blocks well. Breida and our smaller backs, if you look at him stealing ends this year or gaps, that's why I don't understand why you say he's overpaid. He does his fucking job. The dude is a hell of a blocker.
You, my friend, are growing. I heard some growth in your last statement. You don't even know what you said, but you're growing. You said he is not a fullback that's going to run the ball. You beat me up all offseason about who's going to be our short yardage back. You were like, Juice is the biggest guy we got. He can do it. Well, he can get a third and one.
I also said Matt Breida could, though, too.
Huh?
I also said Matt Breida could, though, too.
Come on now. Stick with Juice here. Stick with Juice here. Don't jump around. You're showing growth, Nick. You admitted it. I respect it, man. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That dude cannot run the ball. He can't do it.
No, he has like 3 carries for like 21 yards his entire career.
Exactly. He's not a runner of the ball, but everyone kept trying to make him something that he wasn't. But this is the thing. The fans were looking at those contracts and saying, you paid all this money for a fullback. He's, 6'2" and 250 or whatever his height and weight are. We wanted to see him go out there and do those things. And I kept trying to tell people that's not him. We gave him that money. He was paid running back money, not fullback money. He was paid running back money. And that's not who he is. But I do understand how they wanted to move him around. He's a good pass catcher. He's a great blocker. I do understand the purpose with it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I can see the value in it later, when we react to these contracts and all, we look at the player and we go based off of what we've seen and what we know of them. We don't go based off of what Kyle Shanahan is cooking up in his laboratory. So, I see the value in Juice. I still think he's a little overpaid for his production, but I feel better about his contract now than I did then because I'm looking at him as just a fullback and a blocker. And I'm like, this guy, there's no way he's worth that contract.
And I still feel the same about Malcolm Smith's contract. It's fucking horrible.
All right, so we've moved on to the players here, man. Do you want me to pull up the free agency list or what? How do you want to do this, man? I'm going to let you kick this off with the players. And I will follow suit, and we'll go ahead and have a fun back and forth here.
I'm gonna check out the chat real quick, just say what's up to people. Luke Walsh, Niner by Nature, 843 Kells, Ivan, Van Life, Robert Gibby, Cinnamon Kiss, or Cinnamonkeys, as Mike would say. Niner by Nature, Ollie Bear, Jonathan Rosa, what's up? David Lopez. Got a lot of our regulars in here, so appreciate you guys. All right, so there was they're talking in the room about the whole Von Miller trade thing. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's see. Trent Taylor hasn't been the same since surgery. we can all agree on that. Mike doesn't like Trent Taylor anyway, and I don't feel like arguing for Trent Taylor tonight.
Come on, Nick. Don't do that, Nick. Not nice, bro. That's not nice at all. I never said I don't like the kid. I said once we got Richie James, I didn't see the need.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just busting your chops.
I know. But people are gonna believe you. People are gonna think that I really don't like Trent Taylor. Did you see him get out and do the Shiggy challenge? Kiki, do you? That's my guy. How do you hate that guy? I love Trent Taylor. Just don't see a need for him on the team. That's all.
Let's see. Get rid of Eric, the boy from Clan. Go if there comes. I saw something in here. Oh, Doc Holliday says Boza, Nat. I think Allen is a better pick. I'm not even getting started on that one.
I like Allen. Allen is my favorite guy. Now I will say this though, guys. Sorry, I have some kind of antivirus. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I like Allen also. I'm not going to sit here and knock him. However, it's time for me to get into the offseason mode where I'm actually reviewing the film, not just highlight film and things like that. I want to see the tools that these guys are coming into the table with. A lot of people who like Allen, me being one of them, are looking at his production and his numbers. His numbers are, like, you want that if you're a 49er fan. You need that. That's what we're looking for. But the draft is more about potential and production, not just production. You can be a guy who's played bad competition. Now he's in the SEC, so we know that's not the case. But you could be a guy that benefits from a couple of different things. If your defensive line is bad and the quarterback feels like he has all day, you can end up getting a lot of sacks that way also because of, just the guy getting comfortable in the pocket. I'm not saying that's the case with Allen, but going through the season, I've been on the Allen train. Josh Allen. I've been that guy. I am still that guy. But it is time for me to get into some film. I would be happy with Bosa. I would be happy with Allen. But I have to see who can help the team immediately versus long-term projects and things like that. And there's been a lot of discussion about that going on in the group chat and all. I hear it. I read it. But I'm not going to let someone else make up my mind for me. I have to go ahead and dig into the crates and pull up some film myself. And I'll get back to everybody on that. But as of this moment, I'm a Josh Allen guy, but I wouldn't be disappointed with Nick Bosa either.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, if Bosa's there, they're going to say I don't want Bosa because everybody in the room is saying I don't want Bosa. We had this talk earlier. I mean, obviously, if Bosa's there, I think you have to take him, but I just don't think this team's going to take him, and it's scary. And we'll talk about that later in draft talk, but I don't want to get it all into that right now. And Allen is a great player. I think Allen is a great player. I think that he is a great player, but I feel that he's more of an outside linebacker than an edge rusher. And what I mean by that is that he's played more as an outside linebacker in a 3-4 than he has in what we're going to ask him to do. We're going to ask him to come in here and play a Leo type. But I think he's more of a Sam guy. And I don't want another Solomon Thomas where we draft somebody in that position to do something differently, and then you take away a year of their development trying to teach them something else, and then they just go right back to the same position of where they're playing anyway. So
that's not entirely well with the edge position in particular. It's not entirely fair because 3-4 and 4-3, it's. I don't want to do all this.
Well, I mean, with your bases and your nickels and stuff like that, there's similarities.
Right.
But Josh Allen also isn't good rushing from 4 or with his hands in the ground. So I want a guy who's going to be able to rush from standing up, being able to rush with his hands in the dirt. A guy who has just more of I'm going to beat you on the outside, somebody who has a spin move or uses their hands well, or and a lot of Josh Allen's tackles or sacks for losses came from unblocked, being completely unblocked, stunning, coming through the middle, watching, and you'll see it once you start watching tape. So look, I'm hemmed up with a shoulder surgery and have nothing else but to do but watch football right now. So, but anyway, I'm not taking Bosa over Josh Allen. And if I had the choice, if Bosa is already gone, I think that we can get a Polite or even a Brian Burns or somebody else trading back. So
you just said I'm not taking Bosa over Josh Allen. Is that right?
No, I meant to say I'm not taking Josh Allen over Bosa.
Okay.
Sorry. If Bosa isn't there, I'm not taking Josh Allen there. That's where you open up your playbook and say, hey, what can we get for this pick? Even though I like Polite, I like Farrell, I like Brian Burns, I think they're all great guys who can fit our system. I think Polite's probably the best one that will fit our system. But that's also where you can look at what's behind you, what they're going to draft, and say, oh, can I get Polite in the 7th pick, 8th pick? Let's see. So, Mike went to get another mimosa.
I'm here, bro.
Oh, good. You're good.
My dog was barking. I didn't want the microphone to start picking it up or anything. So I had to go yell at the dog. I had to go yell at Niner. So are we going to talk about free agency first? We're going to talk about draft crushes. I mean, we're on the draft right now. If we're talking fantasy, right, Nick? You and I were both of the same ilk at one point. I don't know if you've changed your mind since then, but we were like, if the Niners get the pick number 1 or number 2, I think there's a 90% chance that they're trading back. The closer we get to the draft now, I'm not sure they're trading back on this pick. I think they're more likely to trade the second pick than the first one.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I took a lot of heat in our room today, like talking to our guys. I just have this funny damn feeling that Arizona's not going to take Bosa, and I have a feeling Bosa's going to be sitting there, and I just really have a feeling that John Lynch is going to say that value just went completely up. I'm getting the value for the picks. Because they're planning right now. I'm telling you, they're planning right now that Bosa's not going to be there. And they're looking at other guys thoroughly. But I just have, and I hope that I'm freaking wrong, because I hope that I'm wrong, because if Bosa's there, I want Bosa. But I just have a feeling that Arizona may pass on Nick Bosa. And I like Bosa, but there are probably going to be some red flags out there on him with his whole last college season and, his injury. His injury, not injuries or injury prone. Because I will take him. I like Nick Bosa. I'm an Ohio State fan. I've watched all of Nick Bosa's career. I really like Nick Bosa. But I just have a funny feeling, man, that if Nick Bosa does not go number 1 overall, and let's just say Haskins or Arizona trades out for a guy to get Haskins, and then John Lynch and them are going to say, wow, I can get 2 first-round picks now. I can get this second pick and a third pick, blah, blah, blah. And they're going to do it.
You think that John Lynch and company are sitting around right now planning on anyone but Nick Bosa? That's what you're telling me, right? And so in doing that, when Arizona or whoever makes their pick, they're going to be like, wow, like we fell in love with other people because we didn't expect him to be here. So who should we be going after now? Like they're going to be, let's just say, all right, I'm gonna make this random because my favorite player in this draft right now is Quentin Williams. So let's just say they're like, you know what, man, like Quentin will be here at 5 or 6. Let's take this haul of picks. That's the guy we were planning on getting. We didn't think Bosa was going to be here, so let's go ahead and trade back.
Exactly.
You're saying, but why not? Why would they still not take Bosa then? I hear you. Like they're convincing themselves they're falling in love with someone else right now as we speak because they don't expect Nick to be there. But
and like Mike NY to the Bay was saying, he's like, and Steve Mullen was saying, this draft is totally different with pass rushers this year, right? It's definitely, the draft is definitely more stacked this year than it was last year. But you've heard John Lynch come out and say, like, he'll trade and he'll do this and he'll do that. And even last year, like, there were players on the board that we could have took, and we took a Mike McGlinchey. And we knew that we needed pass rush last year. We knew they knew that Cassius Marsh wasn't going to be the answer, which who was Josh Allen kind of reminds me of. But yeah, I know. Look, Mike, I hope I'm completely wrong on this, but I just have this utterly sick feeling in my stomach that this is what's going to happen. I really do. Like, I really think Bosa's not going to go number 1. I think somebody like Jacksonville or maybe even the Giants are going to trade up to that number 1 spot, and they're going to trade out, and they're going to take Haskins. And Haskins really played really, really well. And, I mean, he was a Heisman, player that could have won the Heisman as well, which doesn't really mean much anymore in the NFL or college days. But I just have a funny feeling that there's more red flags out there, coaches' red flags on Bosa than what fans are taking in. But I personally, if Nick Bosa's there at number 2, I'm taking him. But I just don't think it's going to happen. I think I'm tired. I'm so used to being let down by this 49ers organization that the right pick, I don't even know if it's the right friggin' pick anymore. Like, we're so used to being let down. Like, dude, how mad were we all on our live draft show when we took Mike McGlinchey? We were all super pissed. All of us. And look at the year Mike McGlinchey had. Why? We trade Trent Brown, now we draft Mike McGlinchey, or we draft Mike McGlinchey when we have Trent Brown, and now we're trading Trent Brown? Why? Why are we doing this? Dude, it's obviously why we're not scouts. They seen something and they wanted him and they went and got him. And I don't know, dude. I'm just nervous.
That's not fair though, because we weren't mad at McGlinchey for his production. I thought McGlinchey was the best tackle in the draft. I just felt like we could have gotten a different position. I don't think any of us didn't like Mike McGlinchey.
No, I'm saying because we wanted a different position there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he came out and he said, "Nope, I'm taking an offensive tackle."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, we're all thinking you got to go after defensive end here. You got to go after defensive end here. We don't know what they have planned for Contavious Street next year. We don't know what they're going to do in free agency. We're just automatically saying we got to get the best edge rusher in the draft. We don't know if Contavious Street is going to be training all offseason on being an outside rush guy. I doubt it, but I'm just saying we don't know. If we don't take Boza, Levi Stadium is probably the Niners fans are probably going to blow up Levi Stadium. Maybe I shouldn't have said that live on air because if something happens, then they're going to come back to me. But yeah, and Mike McGlinchey was rated really high. I mean, he was like a number 2 lineman probably after Quentin Nelson, maybe 3. I don't remember if it was 2 or 3. But
the Colts.
Hey, look who it is.
Yo, hold on 1 sec. Give me 1 second.
What the heck? That's just popped out of nowhere.
Are we gonna, Nick? Are we gonna talk fantasy, man? Listen. Come on, man. I gotta know, man. What's up? We haven't talked about it yet. You got to get me excited. I'm ready to get excited. I want to talk about the team making a playoff push and what we got to do to get there, man.
All right, so we talked about Allen. We talked about some edge rushers. If you can take an edge rusher right now, let's forget about the draft. Let's not even worry about the draft. Let's talk about free agency. There's a few big names in free agency, and probably most of them will get tagged or franchise tagged or re-signed or things like that. And it's too early in the season to know, or off season to know. But give me 2 guys on the defensive side of the ball that you would go after in free agency that would make you completely happy with where the season was headed. Can be offensively, defensively, anything. No, let's do defense first. Let's do defense first.
My number 1 defensive guy is DeMarcus Lawrence. That's it. I don't need to elaborate. Everybody gets it. Everybody knows why. DeMarcus Lawrence, number 1. That's my guy. I won't take up 2. If someone else wants to go now, you guys can go ahead.
All right. So I love DeMarcus Lawrence as well, and he probably would be my first pick. But since you took him, I'm going to take somebody else, and I'm going to go Jadeveon Clowney. Probably the next best to DeMarcus Lawrence, if not really, really close. I just like DeMarcus Lawrence, but I'll go Clowney. Definitely, Clowney will disrupt no matter what, wherever he's at on a team-wise. So he's just a beast. Tony, number 1 defender that you would take in free agency right now. Hold on, let me see if I can unmute you. Oh.
He has to unmute himself.
Yeah, unmute yourself real quick, Tone.
You hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry, I missed you. What'd you say?
Give me your number 1 defensive player in free agency that you would love to have this year.
You said, who did you say?
Mike said DeMarcus Lawrence. I said Jadeveon Clowney.
Clowney's a beast, man. But something make me leaning towards D Ford.
Okay. All right, so D Ford is a really
edge. He's a true speed guy. Like Clowney's your all-around defensive end. He can play all over the line. He can play inside on nickel. He can stand up in a 3-point stance over the center. I've seen him do it with Romeo Crennel in Houston. But DeLeo is really just like a true speed guy off the edge. I don't want to say the same guy you did, so I'll try to go a different route. mine would be between D Ford and Clark.
All right. So we got D Ford, DeMarcus Lawrence, Jadeveon Clowney. They're all three edge guys that we just took, right? Let's move to. All right. So let's say they don't get tagged. Those three players. What would you be willing to pay them to come here? Mike, you go with your guy first.
4 years, $60 million with $48 million guaranteed.
All right.
That's $15 million a year on face value. 4 years, $60 million, $15 million a year, 48 guaranteed. He's guaranteed a lot of money. Majority of that contract is guaranteed. He's not saying no to that.
Yeah, I mean, everything but $12 million is guaranteed.
Right.
So, Tony, what would you pay your guy to get here?
I would do a 5-year, but with a team opt out, like what Parag does a lot with his contracts. It's probably going to be a lot of guaranteed. I mean, what's the franchise tag for a defensive end?
Depends on the year.
So what would be year one? Because D Ford was never franchised.
Mike, do you have that? Can you look that up? Pull that up real quick. What the defensive ends franchise tag for your first tag?
All right, I'll pull it up. Hold on. Give me like 12 seconds.
Mike, love the hair, by the way.
Thanks, man.
You getting compliments on your hair all day today. You bet it's by males.
All right, so the defensive end 2012 or 2018, it's going to go up because the cap numbers are going to come back out this year. So I can only go based off of what it was last year. For the defensive end, not tackle, because there are two different numbers there. Defensive end is
like 20.
Should be about 19.
Yeah, I thought it was like 21.
I'm looking at transition tags. Hold on. All right, here we go. 17.14 is what it was last year. That was DeMarcus Lawrence. That was Ziggy Ansah. That was last year. 17.14. So it'll probably get a $2 million bump. You know, so what Tony was saying.
19 to 20, right?
About 19, yeah. And now I'm looking at the market value for a DeMarcus Lawrence, who's a defensive end, and it's coming up with that exact number. It's saying 20 point. Spot Rack has a cool little feature here where they tell you the market value of it.
Right.
20.9 million
a year.
Yeah.
So yours is like 4 years, 80 million.
But that's not what I offered him. I'd offer 4 years, 60 million.
Right. No, I'm just saying market value would be 4 years, 80 million.
Yeah.
But you're offering him 4 years, 68 with 48 guaranteed, or 60 with 48 guaranteed. So are you giving him more than that franchise tag?
No, I would do something similar to Mike, maybe jump it up, maybe like 8 million more with incentives. With sack incentives, Pro Bowl incentives, similar what Richard Sherman did, how he would hit his top salary with hitting all the Pro Bowl, Super Bowl interceptions, all stuff like that. Because I'm just afraid to give these guys big money contract. I like DeMarcus Lawrence, but he's just got. I think he was a second-year franchise tag, right? It was his second time.
Yeah.
So listen, this guy made a lot of money, so I want the guy to be hungry still, to hit his bonuses, to hit his incentives, and not just fork over 22 million. But we do have the cap room to do it. But I feel like if we're smart about things, we could add multiple players instead of just one big one, and that's where I think Parag steps in, Marate, and that's his strength. So I'd probably go maybe like 10 million more with incentives in the total contract, but keep the guarantee around the same spot.
Something else we have to keep in mind, fellas, is that I know a lot of people use the franchise tag as a guide for annual salary, but the franchise tag is one meant to hurt the teams. You're overpaying for that guy, and two, it's supposed to reward the players. So it's not meant to be something that's a long term. You don't say it's 5 franchise tags for 5 years. It's supposed to be, this is the top, and then we want to come somewhere in between. You know what I'm saying? Franchise tag isn't going to be looked at as this is what you should get every single year. That's hurting the team. So it's just you got to remember that. So even though the value was 20.9, like I just read, that's to dissuade the teams from tagging people.
Right. Well, if they go to sign a tag, I'm having a brain fart right now, so help me with this. If they go to franchise tag somebody, that player doesn't have to sign that franchise tag. He can sign somewhere else.
His rights would have to be traded.
Right.
The team owns him. That's such a bad phrase. The team owns him when they decide to put the tag on him. Now, there is something called a transition tag.
Right.
Where you put a transition tag on a player, it costs you a little bit more, but a team can make him a contract offer, and then you have the first right of refusal. So you can say, we will match that contract, and you're still stuck with us. Or you can say, you know what, they're paying you more than we're willing to pay. You can go. So
right.
That's your transition tag there.
Yeah, franchise is more of a towards like fully guaranteed contracts, basically. I was just saying because there's ways that even if tags were placed on players, that the Niners can still get that player.
Well, the reason why DeMarcus Lawrence is so high on my list is production, obviously, but he's 26. He's got a lot of juice left in him. A lot of juice left in him, man. So I just don't know how you don't do it.
What's Clowney now? 29? He's got to be 28, 20. He's got to be 28 to 30. He's got to be.
I don't think he's that old. I think he came out. How many years has he been in the league?
He's got to be in the league for 4 years now.
He's probably only 25 or 26 also.
26 or 27 years old.
Here we go.
For some reason, I think he's 28, 29.
He's 25.
Oh, really?
25.
Wow. Well, I don't know why I thought he was so much older. Maybe it's just.
I mean, I don't mean to cut you off. It's tough because, like, you see these guys perform in their defensive schemes, in their defensive systems. Like, in our scheme, if we pick up one of these guys as an edge player, with, your job is to go get the quarterback. I would love to see what it would be like, and it would make my decision easier because, like Clowney, like I said before, Clowney plays all over the line in all different looks on that front. Ford is the real guy that really flies off the edge. Clowney comes off the edge, but Lawrence, I think Lawrence is like a more full end. Like he's an all-around based end. I'm just a little concerned with Lawrence's back for some reason. I don't know. I know he had a bad injury at Boise State with his back, but I mean, listen, we're in a good spot. We got a lot of cap space. I just hope we put the right guys together. And, I just hope we don't go too crazy with spending because we do have to lock up DeForest Buckner, who's able to start negotiating a long-term contract.
Yeah, but we don't have to do that this year.
You don't think it would be smart?
Yeah, but I mean, being smart and having to do it is two different things.
Look, when reality sets in, here's the hard facts. The Niners have Buckner for 3 more years, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Right, exactly. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah, like they have the rest of his contract plus the first franchise tag. They've got him for a while. So they don't have. This is just the first year that they're allowed. This is just the first year that they're allowed to negotiate a contract with him. That's all.
we're obviously as Niners, we just want them to lock him up to show him gratitude, but they don't have to do shit, truthfully.
No, yeah, I understand that. But what happens if you put a true edge guy and this guy blows up? And now he's looking, mid-teens a year, whatever price he's looking at, and it balloons up because now he's getting 14, 15 sacks as an interior.
Yeah, but you gotta look at it anyway. By the time his contract's up anyway, the market value is going to be way higher than what it is now anyway.
That's what I was saying. Maybe if we lock him up now to more team friendly.
So Tony's point is lock him up now, so that way the market value doesn't go up. Every year the cap is going up, so everybody's slowly going up. He's saying get the bargain now. I get that perspective of it also. But I mean, it's a good problem to have. If he ends up blowing up and he's doing well, it's a good problem to have. You want to be stuck in with tough situations like that.
All right,
that means you have really, really good guys that are producing.
Absolutely.
Now here's the trick question. If we go out and we get any of those three guys, are you still going after a Josh Allen, a Nick Bosa,
Yes,
a Jaquai Polite? You're still trying to get them at number 2?
without hesitation. Yes.
Interesting.
You would stay at 2, Mike?
Well, in this exercise, we're talking about fantasy positions and things like that, and making the team the best they possibly could be. Yes, you stay put at number 2, and you get your edge rusher in addition to whoever it is that you pick up, because the team is so bad that we need to overcompensate for it. Yes, I think you stay there in this exercise that we're doing. Absolutely, absolutely.
Tony, what about you?
I mean, Mike makes it that this is the exercise that you guys are doing. But, I mean, if you can move back a couple picks, I mean, Polite, if everyone is so high on Polite, he's not going 2. He's not going 3 as of now. I mean, you don't know what happens in the workouts and stuff. But based on this time, he's not going that high. So my logic is, being that we only have 5 picks, we could move back maybe 5 spots and pick up more firepower to now maybe acquire a veteran receiver. Because to move back 5 spots from 2, 6 spots, you're going to get a number 1 next year.
You think Polite's going to go? I don't know.
I think Polite's a top 10 player. After all said and done, after the combine, after the workouts, I think he's probably going to go as a top 10 player because he is a freak athlete.
I think.
But the only thing that scares me. Go ahead, Nick.
I think he's top 5.
So you think,
other than his off-field issues, I think he's top 5.
Really? You think he's a top 5 player?
Yeah, I do.
So who would your top 5 be right now? Bosa 1.
Bosa 1. Obviously, you got to put a quarterback in there.
So you put Haskins in there.
Haskins. Right? Then I'd probably go Burns, Polite, Allen. That's my top 5 right there.
How is Quinnen Williams? Never.
Yeah, you're like.
Oh yeah, Quinnen Williams. Well, because I put a quarterback in. That's why.
See, I think
I would put Quinnen Williams over Josh Allen. I would definitely put Quinnen Williams. I mean, Quinnen Williams, I would love to have Quinnen Williams, but I just don't want to draft another inside guy. I really don't.
No, I agree with you. I agree there.
I mean, if we needed inside guys, he'd be the guy I'm going after if Nick Bosa is not there.
He's going to be so damn disruptive. It's not even funny.
He is, but we just don't need him.
No, yeah, come on. Which one of our interior guys are better than him? I'll give you Buckner. You can say Buckner. That's fine. But okay, what about everybody else?
Yeah, but not when you need edge, dude. You need edge more than you need an inside guy right now.
It's true.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, you can always upgrade your players on your team, but when you have no outside edge guy, you can't go draft an inside guy where there's an edge guy there. I don't know.
Complementary pieces is key. Right.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's why like Quinn Williams is a beast, dude. Like I can't even say he's a beast. But
being that you're talking about Williams, can I ask you, do you guys think he's a similar style or similar player as Buckner? Like skill set wise?
I think Buckner is a product of strength and size, and I don't think that's Quinnen at all.
No, he's more power. He's more speed and like shiftiness. I guess that's a word, right? Shiftiness, like you know what I mean. He can.
So I mean, we would all agree that if the Niners took him, he would play the 3 tech, and Buckner would slide out to the big end.
What if we took Quinnen Williams?
Just saying that, yeah. Hypothetically, if the Niners took Williams at 2, let's just say it. So he would line up as the 3 tech, and Buckner would slide out to the 5 tech as a big defensive end, and then DJ Jones would play the nose tackle with your edge player on the other side.
Yeah, that's how they would have to use him, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get caught up in the Quinnen Williams talk because he's not coming to San Francisco. If he does, then I will just say that this team doesn't know how to draft anything but inside guys. Because, I mean, that's what he is. He's a great player, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to see him in San Francisco. Please no. Please no. Especially if a Boza or a Polite's there or even Josh Allen.
Remember, let me ask you. Okay.
Even Josh Allen, and I don't like Josh Allen. So
that John Lynch defense in Tampa Bay, right? And he's always talking about how he had Warren Sapp, right? Yeah, you know,
that's who people were comparing Quinnen Williams to.
Who was their edge guy?
Simeon Rice.
Yeah, Simeon Rice.
You never hear John Lynch talking about him, though. Like, John Lynch loves those interior defensive linemen, bro. He loves them.
Yeah, but Mike, you've been bitching all year we need an edge guy. And now you're talking about taking
No. I want edge. Book it, put a stamp on it. I want edge. I'm just saying John Lynch loves those interior defensive linemen, bro. That's all.
So let me ask you this. So how come if you get a DeMarcus Lawrence or Jadeveon Clowney in free agency, why aren't you taking Quinnen Williams?
Because I would like to double up on that position because we can't afford to miss. We can't.
True. I'm just saying that's your way of getting both. That's your fantasy world. It's not a fantasy if you don't really want the other guy. Just saying.
I want 2 of them. I want them. Listen. We need to. We don't know if it was Ray Wright or not. It could be something else in the water. All right. So if one goes down, we got to have somebody else stepping up.
Yo, they might have got the water mixed from the water they use the plants with to the water they serve the players. Did you hear me, Mike? Oh, he went and got Niner. I said maybe it is in the water. They probably got the water switched. They're feeding the players the water that they garden the rooftop garden with that recycles. That's their drinking water. Maybe somebody.
It's something going on over there though. Guys were dropping like flies, and it just was not a good look at all. So
there is a lot of Josh Allen love in our chat, and I can't even look at it.
I kind of feel responsible for it. I've been praising Josh Allen for the last couple of months, bro.
But I don't understand why he's not what we need.
Because of the production. No, you can't say that's not what we need.
We don't need his position.
No, he's an edge guy, Nick.
No, he's not. He's an outside linebacker. He's not an edge guy.
An outside linebacker's playing in the edge. He's not lining up in the inside.
And he was way horrible more on all fours, with his hand in the ground.
Listen, bro, you got to look at production. That's what the 49er fans are starving for. Look,
no, you don't have to look at production. You have to look at production. You took Solomon Thomas.
Let me ask you some questions. Right? Who has better mechanics? CJ Beathard or Nick Mullins?
Nick Mullins.
Nick, I said mechanics.
Nick Mullins has better mechanics.
No, he does not.
Bro, you know I hate CJ Beathard and his mechanics.
CJ Beathard
the entire year. That's the worst description to give me, and then disagree with me.
CJ Beathard does not have worse mechanics than Nick Mullins.
His footwork is horrible.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yo, Tony, how long have I been saying CJ Beathard's footwork and everything is horrible?
You have been saying that.
I've never liked anything about CJ Beathard. Not one bit. Ever.
All right.
Other than he was a Rudy Poo.
That was I don't even care about that. The guy who said that's not even here anymore. That was I can't believe you said that. That was not what I was expecting you to say. My point though is that it's mechanics versus production. A lot of people look at the production. That's why Nick Mullins is so beloved by the 49er fans right now. I think mechanically speaking, this is my personal opinion, I think mechanically speaking, CJ Beathard is closer to the prototypical quarterback than Nick Mullins is. Nick Mullins has an awkward throwing motion and everything. That's what I'm talking about.
So
but
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo's throwing motion is nowhere near as awkward as CJ Beathard.
I agree, but Jimmy Garoppolo has the ability to throw from different platforms.
Right.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
That was live from Tony's nose. But my point with what I was saying was that production versus mechanics is what people are looking at. The Joey Bosa people are all about the mechanics. He's got some production too. He doesn't have the production this year in particular that Josh Allen has. And so, look, I don't care how you do it. I just want you to do it. That's why people are so high on Josh Allen.
So fine, you can be that way. But Josh Allen plays in a 4-3. He's an outside linebacker. He plays the Sam position. He plays in a 3-4 as an outside linebacker right now. And he's not an edge rusher. He plays the Sam position. You're going to bring him in here. You're going to stun his growth by trying to teach him a new position to play as an edge rusher, just like we did with Solomon Thomas. And then everybody's going to hate him and hate the pick because just like they did with Solomon Thomas, why are we using Solomon Thomas outside? He doesn't play there. Why are we drafting him here? Why are we doing this? Josh Allen is not a number 2 pick for the San Francisco 49ers in any position that we need right now as in an edge rusher.
All right, I got to say something about Josh Allen, okay? 3/4 of our defense were in nickel.
Nickel base.
We're in nickel. All right, so that's 4 down linemen. You have your Armstead and Buckner and Solomon Thomas on the inside, rushing from the inside, and then you have your 2 speed guys coming off the edge. Where this works is when the Niners go base, if they add a pass rusher in free agency, let's just say Clowney, they lock him up to a big deal. They draft Allen to be a Sam. So now, when you go nickel, you're going to have Allen off the edge and you're going to have Clowney off the edge. But
that's not a 3-down edge rusher.
But listen, technically it is because the Sam does rush at times in different calls. But I will say this. I watched that Penn State game. 2 of his 3 sacks were off stunts. And this is why I'm going to compare him to not the player, but the style of play this player needed to be successful. And that's Aldon Smith doing that tight end stunt with Justin Smith. Justin Smith would shoot out, pull the guard with him, and he would loop around through the center guard tackle gap and get to the quarterback. Where that's Penn State.
And how many of those 3 sacks came off of a wide open, not blocked?
One of the sacks came off. He took a hard outside rush and he attacked the left tackle's outside shoulder, but his first step beat the tackle out of his stance, so he won it right off the bat.
That's his strength. That's what I was saying in the room. I believe it was yesterday. Is that he has a great anticipation of the snap. I haven't seen a lot of guys who do it better than Josh Allen. He gets off the ball like nobody's business. But Tony's comparison is really interesting, right? When he first said it, I was like, oh no, I can't believe he said that. But Alden Smith wasn't shit without Justin Smith, which means that he's not able to do it on his own, which is what Nick has been saying all along about Josh Allen. You guys are all saying the same exact thing. You're all saying the same exact thing. You're just saying it in different ways. You're saying different ways. So the question is about if we have someone that can do it. I don't think
Alden Smith changed positions in the NFL too, because he was a defensive end down in college and then started playing outside linebacker Sam when he became to the NFL.
No, Nick, he started off in their nickel. He would come in on 3rd and long. That's how he started. And
he was not an every down player. He was.
No, I know that.
Then Fangio made his base defense into remember the big nickel?
Yeah.
They ran? That's how Alden Smith became a full-time player.
Right, but what I'm saying is in college, he was strictly a defensive end.
Correct.
He wasn't a Sam type outside linebacker in a 4-3.
Correct.
When he came to Fangio's system, Fangio used him and taught him a new position. But Alden Smith would have never been anything without the likes of Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, Justin Smith. Like, I just don't understand it. Like I don't want people to think that I hate Josh Allen, because I really don't. I think he's a great player. I really do think he's a good player, but I just don't think he's what we truly need right now. I want an every down, like a 3-down pass rusher who's going to rush the passer on all 3 downs, no matter whether he's in the dirt or standing up.
See, but Nick, I think right now, Josh Allen is not that player. Right now. If you take him, line him up, put his hand in the dirt as a Leo, I think he will struggle. Do I think he could turn into that player that you want him to be? Yes, I do. But it's
I do. I do as well. But I'm not spending a number 2 pick on somebody who needs work to learn a position.
Why do people expect guys coming into the NFL to be finished products? That bothers me so much. You draft.
You shit on Solomon Thomas all year because he wasn't where he was at number 3 pick.
No, I shit on Solomon Thomas because we still in year 3 don't know what to do with this guy. That's what my problem is with him.
Well, you were shitting on him before, saying he's not even playing in position. He's not even playing in position. We drafted him at number 3, too high for where he's at to learn a new position. Those were your words.
What does that have to do with what I'm saying? I'm talking about finishing a finished product versus someone who's coming in and learning. I'm not talking about picking up someone and moving them here and here and here and here and here to see what he can do. Get someone, put him in a position, and let him learn. I'm fine with that. You're talking about, he's not a finished product. He's got to be groomed and grouped. They're not going to move Josh Allen around.
I'm not saying that
Josh Allen's going to come in. He's going to get a position. He's going to stay there. Or Nick Bosa, whoever it is. They're going to get that guy. He's staying there. They're not moving him inside, outside. They're not doing all that stuff. They did that with Thomas. That was stupid. You don't do that with a number 3 overall pick. When you get that guy, you know exactly where you're putting him. You don't do that with a number 3 overall pick. That's nuts.
But that's the thing. They drafted him to play a different position. Solomon Thomas. You're saying to draft Josh Allen and play a different position than he plays in college.
I don't care about you moving a guy from one position to another in college. I'm saying don't move him around once you get him on your team. Don't Tank Carradine this guy.
Wait, I got to stop you guys 1 second. You can't compare Josh Allen to Solomon Thomas. You're asking a 3 technique to go out and play the Leo. That's 2 different positions. Okay? What you're asking for Allen is a 2-point stance, 34 outside linebacker to put his hands in the ground. That is a higher success rate than asking a 3 technique to slide out and play a speed rusher in his defense.
Which I understand, but Josh Allen struggles mightily in college with that right now. But nobody wants to admit to that. Nobody wants to say, yes, he does struggle with that. Nobody.
Well, that's why I said before, his first couple years, he's going to need help. He's going to need to do stunts.
All right. I mean,
Nick.
I hope for all you Niners fans that we don't draft Josh Allen. That's all I'm saying. Because I don't feel like hearing the whole shit about the whole Solomon Thomas picking a guy way too high at number 2 for a position that he never played in college for the next 5 years. I really don't want to hear it.
Nick, let me ask you something. And Mike, you too. What happens if this guy balls out, right? He goes to the Senior Bowl in the one-on-one pass drills that's going to be televised on the NFL Network, which I'm going to watch every damn episode because Kyle Shanahan and our team is there. Hopefully Allen is on that team. What happens if this guy balls out in the Senior Bowl? And what happens if he goes to the Combine and puts up crazy numbers? His 3-cone drill is better than Bosa's. Now, what happens if he goes 1? What happens if the possibility that he – I mean, I don't even know if which team's going to partake in the Combine.
Yeah.
Bosa.
Yeah. I said that earlier today. I'm not sure what what Bosa's going to do, especially coming off of an injury. He might do like Jadeveon Clowney and select which 2 drills to participate in, and we might not hear from him again. He's got the name and reputation enough, and he's established enough to be able to do that. So we don't need him. I'm talking about Bosa to come out and do it. It's very plausible, Tony, what you're saying, where Josh Allen comes out and blows Bosa out of the water, and with the team getting their hands on him, I don't know how Kentucky couldn't be considered South. That's how the Senior Bowl is done, North and South, right?
Correct.
Right. I don't know how Kentucky could not be considered South, but if for some unforeseen reason it's not. Either way, if the team can get their hands on him and watch this guy day in and day out, and then he goes to the Combine and does what you say, I mean, let's say he goes first overall, then it's an easy decision for the 49ers at 2, and you take Bosa. But this is my logic has been this from the beginning, Tony. You draft based off of potential. You're not picking up a 21-year-old young man and putting him in the NFL with a bunch of veteran 26, 27-year-old guys who are significantly stronger than him and saying you're a finished product, go play and produce. That just doesn't make any sense to me. No one should expect that of a rookie. You can expect success. You can expect production. You shouldn't expect them to be a finished product coming in year 1. It just doesn't make any sense. It's crazy to me.
No, you're right.
And so I think, like I said, I saw a comment there saying, "No, Mike, you're crazy. Alden had skills." Alden never did anything without Justin Smith. You didn't see it.
When Justin Smith was out with the torn tricep or the torn pec, Alden Smith struggled
mightily. He had one good game.
I mean, listen, he got to the quarterback. He would get the pressure, but he wasn't completing it. He wasn't getting the sack.
Because he was a step behind because Justin Smith wasn't there helping out, eating up double teams and things like that. He had one good game without Justin Smith, and he was all over Russell Wilson without Justin Smith. I was so proud of him that game. But poof, he vanished after that. So I wasn't trying to discredit anything about Alden Smith. That was just I saw the comments. So
we're not discrediting him at all. I mean, the kid has talent. I mean, he made it to the NFL. He was picked 7 overall when no one expected him to be that high. He was a talented player. He went down the wrong path, but he was a player don't forget, Alden Smith was 18 years old when he was drafted. 18 or 19 years old.
19.
All right, so at that age, you're asking a 19-year-old to play up against men. He's gifted. He had talented, but the team knew that. The team knew his talent was going to get him in this league. He needed help in the beginning, and that's what Josh Allen needs. But the only thing that's really scaring me, though, is about with this Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa's a big question mark right now, in my opinion. Okay, the guy didn't play the whole season. He played 2 games. One of them, he had 3 sacks against, wait for it, Rutgers. Okay, so listen, these GMs, these coaches, whatever you want to call them, the scouts, they want to see production. They want to go to the combine and see it. You don't think that's a turnoff by, oh, this guy's not participating? Come on, dude. Like, seriously.
Listen, but you can't ignore what Nick Bosa did the previous years also, man. Like, he's been productive in college, Tony.
I understand that. I'm not saying he's not a good football player. I'm not. But my thing is, the most important drill for a defensive end, outside linebacker, pass rusher, edge player, whatever you want to call it, is the 3-cone. And if Bosa does not run that 3-cone, that's a serious issue to me.
I want to know why nobody's questioning. Everybody's like, oh, Bosa doesn't have injuries. Bosa doesn't have injuries. He's not injury prone. But yet, a ton of people are always saying, this player will never come back from injury. This player will never be the same after injury. Well, he just had a major-ass injury. Nick Bosa. And nobody's questioning if Nick Bosa is going to be the same Nick Bosa that he was in college before his injury. Nobody questions it. I mean, I don't even question it because I know who Nick Bosa is. Like, I watched him. I'm an Ohio State fan. But I just can't.
I think that's what Tony's alluding to with the drills are going to be telling. What he chooses to participate in is going to be very telling based off of the injury and his recovery from it. You get what I'm saying? So that's what we're just going to have to see, man. We have to see how it plays out. Here's the positive thing. There's options. It doesn't have to be Allen. It doesn't have to be Bosa. It doesn't have to be Williams. It could be Polite. There's other options out there. So I think we're in good position, guys. I really, really do. These guys that we're naming are all used to being double teamed, some of them triple teamed, right? But when you have a guy like Eric Armstead and DeForest Buckner on the same defensive line as you, you're going to get those one-on-ones. Now all we got to do is have you beat your one-on-ones, not the double team that you've been playing, not the triple team that you've been playing. Either way, that equals production. And I think the Niners are in a good spot, man. I really think the Niners are in a good spot.
Billy Blade asked me a question. Did Nick see the bowl game? Allen had his hands in the dirt and came up with 3 sacks and a blocked field goal. Yes, I watched the game. And 2 of his sacks came off of a stunt where he was completely unblocked and went interior instead of exterior and got 2 sacks.
So you're holding execution against him.
No, well, he just asked me a question. I'm answering that question.
So you're discrediting the guy who got the 3 sacks and the block punt against him. You're saying that you only were successful because you were unblocked.
Because he's trying to tell me that he got the sacks being double teamed and he got the sacks doing this. No, he didn't get the sacks being double teamed.
He didn't say that he got them being double teamed.
Yes, he did. It says right here. Did Nick see the bowl game that Allen had his hands in the dirt and came up with 3 sacks and a blocked field goal? All had him double teamed. That's not what it was. It wasn't. He wasn't double teamed when he came up with the sacks.
I didn't.
So anyway, let's move to the offensive side of the ball.
I just want to say one thing before you move, Nick. We are very lucky that we got the opportunity to coach at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, well, that's going to be tall tale for a lot for whoever's on our side of the ball.
Because Kyle said it in his presser. You can't get fooled by someone when you spend a whole week with them rather than just 15 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, it's huge. It's definitely huge. It's definitely huge. So, Mike, this is the biggest question.
Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. Luke Walsh is wrong. Alden Smith did not get injured in that game that Justin Smith got injured against the Patriots in 2012. No.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did not.
Isn't that when he had a shoulder injury?
No. Alden Smith didn't get injured that same game. Justin Smith got injured that game. And after that, Alden Smith disappeared. He was chasing after the all-time sack record. And people said, I don't know what happened to Alden Smith. I wonder if he got injured. You're
talking about the 2012 game with the comeback. Like it was like we were leading and then the Patriots came.
The
like
Patriots back and tied it up 31-31, and then the Niners finished it off 45-38 or something like that.
Yeah.
Alden Smith did not get injured in that game. He did not get injured in that game at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on because there's been a lot of trolling going on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, I'm sure.
That's being polite.
Yeah. In which Antonio Brown has since unfollowed 49ers Instagram. So, this guy was trolling. But there's a lot of turmoil in Pittsburgh. And there's a lot of talk about OBJ having the potential to be traded. Either way, I'd take either one of them. But what would you give up for an Antonio Brown?
Before we do that, I think we should all decide between AB or OBJ and why. I think all three of us would take either one next season, right? I don't think anybody's going to disagree with that. But if you
based on talent, yes,
right. But if you could make a trade, which one would you trade for, and what would you give up for him? I think that's how it should be.
I think you can get a better deal with Bryant right now. I think Pittsburgh's tired of his shit. Excuse my French. But on the other hand, I think I text you, Mike. I'm just afraid. Our locker room is great right now. And I'm just a little nervous because let's face it, both of them aren't the highest character people. Either one of those players aren't the highest character players in the world. Okay, they both have their issues in two different ways. I'm just a little nervous about doing damage to the locker room because I got to be honest with you. Those Facebook Live things he does now with James Harrison and him, and then Beckham with the crazy shit he does with the boat in Miami and all that stuff. I mean, I could be overlooking this. I could be blowing this out of the norm, but man, our locker room is so tight right now, and that's the only thing that just scares me.
I hear what you're saying, man. You feel like a guy like that, as good and as well respected as he is in the league, he's going to have major influence on the rest of the guys in the locker room. And if he comes in with a stank attitude, he can start to rub off. So I completely get what you're saying.
I mean, perfect example, Mike. Look at Navarro Bowman. Right?
Don't do it. Don't do it, Tony. You're going to have Niners fans hating you. Don't do it.
We have exactly 53 viewers right now. That's funny as hell that he said Navarro Bowman.
But guys, why do you think they let him go?
Because he asked to be let go.
Get the fuck out of here. He got let go because of what I said. Because we saw that a stink attitude was rolling in. The guy was afraid of competition. He didn't want to groom Reuben Foster. He was like, oh.
Right. Well, that's what I just said that. He asked to be let go. If he wasn't going to be playing all the time, he didn't go. He didn't go.
Listen, let's face it. Let's all be real, not kid ourselves. He didn't knock on the door and say, "Could you please release me?" His actions and mannerisms.
No, he literally said, "If you're not going to play me all the snaps, I want to be released. I want to be traded."
Nick, there were reports in the locker room saying that he was trying to split the locker room.
Yeah, because he was pissed off about his playing time.
So exactly, you want to add this back into the locker room after they got rid of it?
I think it's a whole different situation.
Listen, talent-wise, either one of them will put us over the top offensively. You can't deny their talent and what they would offer to this offense. You can't. But I'm just nervous because.
But Tony, it's a whole different situation. Navarro Bowman was here already, and we drafted his replacement pretty much in front of him. And he got pissed off about it because we were letting him rest so he didn't have to play all the snaps because of an injury. He didn't like that. He tried to turn the whole locker room. Antonio Brown is in a whole different stadium, a whole different team, and he doesn't like the way the team's being ran all around Ben Roethlisberger. And
So,
if he came to a new team, I don't think we'd have that issue. I really don't.
but now, do you feel confident enough if God forbid something doesn't go his way? I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying it. But God forbid something doesn't go his way where he don't get enough balls thrown at. Because this is what the problem is between him and Ben Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger's attaching on to what's his name right now?
Juju Smith, yeah.
Yes. And he's not happy about it. So now what happens if Garoppolo starts going to Pettis? Is this guy going to do the same thing?
I think this guy
these are all things that need to be taken into consideration before they pull the trigger on either one of these guys. And I'm not saying talent. Please, whoever's watching this show, listening to this show, I'm not questioning their talent and what they would bring to this team on the field. I'm not. But my concern is if something doesn't go right, what's it going to be?
Listen.
Can I? Never mind.
You want? Go ahead, Nick. I'll chime in after. Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing. If OBJ don't get the ball, he's going to act the same fucking way Antonio Brown acts.
That's what I just said. Both of them, Nick. I said both of them. I'm not singling one of them out. Both of them.
To me, you're going to have to give up way more to get OBJ than you are Antonio Brown.
Of course.
One, because of age, I would take OBJ. But one, I would take Antonio Brown because of the fact that it's not going to cost us as much. And you're still going to get a good 3 years out of him.
Correct.
Which will mend our receivers.
And if things go right, he could help our receivers. He could teach them. They could pick up on his skill. Like,
I have full confidence. We heard the same shit with Richard Sherman coming here. Is he going to break up the locker room? Is he going to do this? Is he going to do that? This locker room is stronger than we think.
But, Nick, Richard Sherman is not on Facebook Live calling out the coaching, calling out the quarterback.
He's
not doing stuff like that.
But I don't know. I mean, look, there's risks and chances you have to take if you want top-notch players.
Of course, I understand that. And that's why I'm saying it could help our team, yes. But I'm just nervous because things are so damn good with this team right now. I'm just nervous. I'm not saying he won't help us. I'm not. I'm just nervous. That's all.
I think given the choice of the two, I would take Odell Beckham Jr. It's pretty simple. Both of them are diva attitudes. Both of them are going to come with the same risk, same rewards even. Here's the difference: 31 versus 26. That's it.
Yeah, which is also a big difference in what it's going to cost you to get them.
Yeah. So what? You give up more so you can get more. That's my logic. I would rather take the 26-year-old guy and go forward with him than the 31-year-old guy and go forward with him. Be the younger guy. Both of them are, being divas right now. It is what it is. The same rewards and same risks are coming in. One, you can probably have a chance of extending again. He's 26 years old. You can have him twice as long as what you could have Brown. That's my answer there.
I'm going to disagree with you. I'm going to take Antonio Brown over Odell because of right now we don't have what it will take us to get. If we were doing this trade right now, we do not have what it will take to get OBJ away from New York compared to what we have to get Antonio away from Pittsburgh. It's going to cost us our number 2 pick, at least for Odell Beckham this year. We only have 5 picks this year. It's going to cost us a lot more money, which is taking money away from our free agency and additional picks in this year's draft and probably one next year for Odell Beckham.
How do you determine that it's going to be less to get someone this year? How do you guys come up with that conclusion? I heard Tony say it also. This year is this year. Who's a better wide receiver right now, Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham Jr.? It's Antonio Brown. That's common knowledge. So when they make this trade, they're not looking at what he's going to be in the future. They don't care.
No, I'm not talking about the future. I'm talking about right now with their organizations, where they're at with their organizations.
And both of these guys are in the same exact spot. You have one guy, Antonio Brown, who quit the last week of the season. You have Odell Beckham, who quit the last 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, but Odell Beckham's GM just came out and said Odell Beckham Jr. is in our future.
That's positioning, Nick. That's called building. That's called building trade stock. That's positioning. They're going to do that. What is he supposed to say? I don't want this guy, so give me your lowest bid, everybody. Like, he's going to say he's in our future, so you can try to lure him away. That's what he's supposed to do.
He didn't say that with Eli Manning. He just basically said, I don't know if he's in our plans.
No, that's not true at all. He said on Sirius XM that Eli Manning is in my futures and he can make all the throws, and we'll see what happens. He said he can make all the throws. He's the guy in the building right now. He's the guy that I plan on keeping around. But if something changes, we'll see what happens. Said the same exact thing about Eli.
But he didn't say that about Odell. We'll see what happens.
So what? He's still saying that he's in my future. He said the same thing about Eli. That's my point.
Mike, you read people's minds all the time, and you don't even see the difference in what you just said?
You're focusing on the last words. He sat here and positioned himself. Everybody and their mom knows that Eli Manning is not in the future of the Giants. Everybody knows that. But he sat there and tried to make it sound like he had a place in the locker room going forward. That's my point. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So either way, these teams aren't looking at what you're going to do with this guy 3-4 years down the road. It's what can I get for him right now in this moment. AB is better than OBJ. No one's going to argue that. No one's going to argue that. So what can I get for the best wide receiver in the NFL right now? It used to be AB, OBJ, or Julio Jones. Julio Jones is injured. He's coming down. OBJ claimed to be injured the last 3 games. He's coming down. Antonio Brown quit. Well, that means that he's healthy, right? So there you go. He's the better wide receiver. He is number 1 in the NFL right now. You can't just sit here and tell me because of his age, his draft value is lower.
He's not number 1 in the NFL right now.
Huh?
He's not the number 1 receiver in the NFL right now.
Okay.
He's better than DeAndre Hopkins?
Right now, everyone's going to take him over DeAndre Hopkins. Yes.
Hell no. You're stupid if you do.
Listen, I mean, let's just face it. I think the only one that's going to move out of the two is Antonio Brown. I don't think Beckham's going anywhere because the cap hit that the Giants would suffer it just doesn't make sense. They would get like an $18 million hit against their cap. That's it. $18 million. And for that price, they might as well just keep him on the roster. Now, with Antonio Brown, if it's post June 1st, this trade, it splits. It goes $7 million cap hit this year, and then $14 million cap hit next year for a total of $21 million that's stretched out over 2 years. Now, I believe Antonio Brown has 3 years left on his contract. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is 3 years. And the cap numbers, if he stayed with them or if he was traded in the last 3 years, are not that bad. I think the highest number is 14 million, and then it goes to 12, and then it goes to 10 is last year, or it goes from 14, 10, 12, one or the other. But I mean, being that we paid Pierre Garçon $9 million this season or last season, that's reasonable for that type of talent at receiver. So my opinion, I don't think Beckham's going anywhere, and if anyone's moving, it's going to be Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown's contract expires in 2021, so you're right, 3 more years. You got 19, 20, and 21 under contract.
And if he's traded after June 1st this year, the cap hit will only be $7 million for them.
It would be 7 this year, 14 next year.
Yeah,
because it's post June 1st. Prior June 1st is $21 million up front.
Right. But if it's after June 1st, it drops down to $7 million cap for them.
For this year.
Yeah. Which is the year they're going to get rid of him.
Correct. So with that being said, he's the tradable one. Now the question is, do we want to bring him to this team? That's what it comes down to. Because to what it would cost you to get him, it's a lot more reasonable than what it would cost to get Odell Beckham. Like we all agreed, age. Age is a big factor. 31, 26. It's a 5-year swing.
I'm taking the 3 years with Antonio Brown again and getting him.
I'm not arguing with you.
Because who knows what we get in 3 years. We could draft a Ridley this year. We could go after somebody in free agency next year.
Yeah. You could go after another Mario Manningham, or you could draft another AJ Jenkins. That's a crapshoot. Take the sure bet, get the OBJ right now, and then you can also have an option of extending him at the end of his contract. Like, you can't sit here and say, hypothetically, we could get someone better, or we can. No, you got to look at what it is, what it is. They're going to play with definites.
Guys, listen, they could rip up his old. Let's say they acquire him. They send a second round. I don't know. I don't think we would need to forfeit a first round pick for Odell. I mean, for Antonio.
We don't need a first round pick for either one of these guys, because our second round pick is 33.
So let's say we
34.
swap twos this year. We swap twos this year, and we throw in a 4 this year and then a 3 next year, and we get him. The team could rip up his contract and sign him to a new deal. They could front load it to this year. They could front load it to the second year, like they did with Garoppolo. Garoppolo was $37.5 million. His cap this year, I was reading, is like 24, 22. That's why we're able to spend money. I think the cap went up $8 million. We got $8 million back. We get rid of Garcon. We get rid of Malcolm Smith. If we try to renegotiate Eric Armstead, if that don't work, he's gone. So we're going to get more space. We're in a very good position right now, cap-wise. We have the ability to maneuver, front-load contracts, back-load. I mean, we're in a good spot. And it feels good to be in this spot after years where we had to pluck guys that haven't played football in 2 years off the street to fill a roster spot.
I agree. I think here's the bottom line. You can't go wrong with either one of the guys. And I wouldn't be mad with Antonio Brown in 3 years, like what Nick was saying and what Tony was saying, because in 3 years, I would hope that we go ahead and make it to the promised land. Hope that we make it to the Super Bowl.
Well, I was just saying 3 years because then you have Pettis is a veteran now. You could draft somebody like a Riley Ridley in this year's draft. Like, you're going to have Richie James, who should be, people. You have young talent on your team now that could excel in 3 years and be whatever they decide to be in the NFL. Oh, don't get me wrong. I would go ballistic if we got either one of them. But I just think right now, in terms of what we need to give up, we have a better chance of getting a 3-year contract with Antonio Brown than we do a 5-year contract with OBJ. With where we're at positioning-wise right now, to trade away positions or picks, like we could even swap 6 and 2 this year for OBJ and give up like a third. Drop down 4 spots, take the number 6 pick, get OBJ for the number 2 and a third. I mean, that's something that's possible, but then you have to come out of money with pocket out of money. So
here's one thing that I think is cool about all of this is that, we're playing this fantasy game. You get either one of those guys, right? They demand double coverage, right? And everyone's talking like, oh, you got to have Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham on one side, and you got Dante Pettis on the other side. Marquise Goodwin is still here. That's another guy who demands a safety over the top of him. Like, that changes the entire – George Kittle feasts at that point. If we go 3 wide, that slot receiver feasts at that point. It's such a game changer, man. It is insane the amount that just having one of those 2 guys and the manipulation that Kyle Shanahan can do on the field. Oh, my God.
It's just like regular fantasy football. You have one of those guys on your team, you have a chance to win that week.
Absolutely. It's no matter who the quarterback is, too. Like that's the crazy part. It's like it's stealing. It's stealing. You get either one of those guys, and it's money in the bank. It really is.
Yeah, definitely is. It's craziness, man. There's going to be a lot to look forward to this offseason, man. It's going to be interesting I'm really excited for free agency to come. I'm not even because I really think our draft is, if we go out and get, I mean, the draft is really going to be based off of what we can land in free agency this year.
Can we talk about it then? Like, I thought that's what we were going to do. I've been waiting over here, man. I've been waiting to talk about free agency, like the different position groups and everything. Like, wide receiver position, I'm super excited about. The safeties, I'm excited about. Like, I don't even know if we're looking for safeties in free agency, but there's good safeties that are going to be on the market. There's really good wide receivers on the market. There's some sketchy wide receivers that I think could be super low risk, super high reward on the market. Like, there's so much that we could talk
Like who? Martavius Bryant?
Or he is one of them, actually, yes. And another one is Kevin White. And if I had it my way in my fantasy world, I'd get both of them. I would get both of those guys this free agency. Bourne, you're put on notice. Richie James, you're put on notice. Like that, yes.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely. Because the talent that those two guys have is different than what we're getting from Richie James and Kendrick Bourne. It's just completely different. And those guys are electric with the ball in their hands, especially in space. Oh my God. It's a dream. It's a dream.
Well, we talked about this the other night, Mike, of what receivers that will we go after. And you said White and the other guy you just said, Martavius Bryant and what was the other guys?
Bryant and White. No, you said it right. It was Bryant and White. But like there's so many other guys. Like Randall Cobb is available. Dante Moncrief is out there. Tavon Austin, Golden Tate, like John Brown. There's so many guys. Jermaine Kearse, Cordell Patterson, Mike Wallace is out there. If you're looking for another speed guy, right?
Tyrell Williams.
Yeah, Tyrell Williams, Cody Lattimore, Philip Dorsett,
like, Roby Anderson.
There's guys that are out there that could be so much fun to go out and grab. And we're sitting here talking about, well, let's trade for Odell Beckham. We can manipulate this thing the same way without OBJ, without Antonio Brown. On the names, on the strength of the name, they're not going to get the respect. But after 3 weeks of seeing Kyle Shanahan move these guys around like chess pieces, all of a sudden it's like, oh shit.
Niner by Nature said, don't forget about Devontae Parker.
Right. That's what. Like, come on, man. Darius Hayward-Bay, another speed guy. Andre Roberts is out there. Hell, Des Bryant, if people are still talking about him. Josh Gordon is going to be available. Michael Floyd is going to be available. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it on camera.
There it is. He's on the side of the road.
Another one of my favorites a couple of years ago in the draft, Justin Hardy. He's going to be available. Like, there are guys that are out there, man. Like,
I told you the two receivers I wanted, and people laughed at me. I'd love to bring in Dante Moncrief and Roby Anderson. They are two players that I think would excel in Kyle Shanahan's system.
There are guys out there. Look, picture this. Let's get off of the wide receiver position for a second, right? I got a tight end 2 for you because we know George Kittle's number 1, right? How do you feel about the 49ers having fucking Tyler Eifert as their tight end 2?
Nah.
Come on, bro.
I'd rather take Jesse James.
Even with injuries, you're passing on Tyler. We don't even. Oh, come on, bro. Nick, come on, man.
Tyler Eifert has never been a good blocker, dude.
He don't have to be a good blocker. He's a producer.
He does in this system.
He's a producer. No,
he has to be a blocker, man.
You do a 2 tight end set with Eifert and Kittle on the field at the same time. Who are you?
I'd rather have a 2 tight end set with Jesse James and Kittle.
You want a tight end so you can run the ball. I'm talking about shooting, man. Let's shoot, man. Load the clip and shoot, baby. Like, that's what I want to do. You can get Tyler Eifert for pennies because he's all
dude, he's fragile as shit.
Exactly. So we're not expecting him to do anything. But when he gets on the field, when he is there, come on, baby.
When was the last time he was really productive?
Huh?
When was the last year he was really productive?
I don't know. And probably the last game that he played. Every time he's on the field, he's productive, bro. Don't try to destroy my fantasy. You got George Kittle on one side and Eifert on the other. Teams are going to go ape shit.
My fantasy is way better.
Huh?
My fantasy with Jesse James and Kittle is way better.
You want Jesse James to be in there blocking for McKinnon. Get out of here, man.
It's not even that. Jesse James is a good pass catching and blocking tight end. And he has speed. And he's bigger. Tony, who would your tight end be?
I don't even know who's available.
It's a fantasy.
Oh. Who would I pick up?
There's Jared Cook out there. Antonio Gates, Luke Wilson, Mercedes Lewis, Demetrius Harris, Benjamin Watson, Neil Sterling. I'm not going to try to say that guy's name. Levine Toilolo. That's the guy in Detroit now, but I believe he played with Shanahan in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, he's a 6'8" tight end.
Right. Marquise Gray is out there. He's a physically gifted guy that never put it all together. Logan Thomas, Zach Miller, Blake Bell, Clive Walford, Xavier Grimble.
Yeah, somebody said Mike's going Singletary on us.
Jesse James. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Jesse James. Go ahead, say it again. Jesse James.
Yeah, Jesse James. That's the last name on there that I recognize. I don't know who Alan Cross is or Cedric Lang.
And Kittle springs free. Look at that block by Jesse James. And Kittle's going down the sideline.
Get out of here, bro. No one's going to say that. Look at that block by Jesse.
And Kittle don't need no blocks.
Exactly. Nick wants to get this guy in here so he can throw amazing blocks. Get out of here, man. I want to spread defenses thin, man. Tyler Eifert and George Kittle on the field at the same time. That's butter, baby. Oh, my God.
It is. You're right, because he's going to slip and fall and break something. Eiffert's going to slip, fall, and break something.
That's fucked up.
I walk right into that shit. I'm muting myself.
Yeah, Mike. Butter.
Spread them thin with two tight ends.
Let me ask you guys this question, all right? We're talking about
I can't believe it's not butter.
We're talking about fantasy and things like that. Let me ask you guys this question. Is there a position on the offensive line that you would change? One of these guys that are projected to come back right now. Are you changing any of these offensive linemen?
I would bring somebody in to compete with.
Rich
well, now it's interesting. Now it's interesting. Will Tomlinson be ready? They're saying yes, but that's not no definite. He's not getting surgery. And you know what happened last time? Garnett hurt his knee and didn't get surgery. It was an ongoing issue. But if Tomlinson didn't get hurt, I would bring in someone to compete with Pearson. I know Pearson's a free agent. I would bring him back on his team as depth as an inside, like a swing guy inside, because he could play all three positions inside, right, left guard, and center. Guys, I mean, I understand Weston Richburg didn't have the greatest year this year. Well, in pass blocking at least. But in my opinion, Richburg improved that run game constantly. If you watch film on him or games, Richburg's always getting to the second level of that defense, sealing off those linebackers. And that's huge in the zone scheme. Do I think Richburg needs help inside, to his right and to his left? They could help him a little more. There's been times where, Lake and Thompson wouldn't even chip a guy when he's trying to snap the ball and the guy's shooting the gap right on his shoulder where he snaps. The guards the guards have to help the center in pass blocking, even if it's just a hand, just to jam him. Center's a tough position, man. Do I think Weston Richburg should be off this team? No. Do I think he improved this team? Yes. Do I think he needs help from the guards? Yes.
I thought you were going to say Richburg. That's why I like Richburg. But
I love Richburg. I met Richburg when he was with the Giants. I was on somewhere where he was at the time.
You were at a Giants game with the Giants jersey on?
No.
You guys are killing me with this Richburg love. And look, I like the guy's attitude. I do like that about him, but his production on the field is different from his attitude. He was a liability out there, especially down the stretch.
His pass pro needs help.
Well,
But I tell you what, Mike, if Kilgore was the center, you would not see that run game.
It's possible. It's possible, but you wouldn't see quarterbacks laying on their ass either with people coming right up the middle. What's more important? What's more important?
Listen,
you want pressure coming right down the quarterback's face? No one wants that, bro.
Mike,
yeah, we'll just scream, get rid of the ball, get rid of the ball. It's your fault.
Mike, listen, it's not all on Richburg. I'm telling you. I'm telling you it's not all on him. Even though people say it is, it's not. Do you remember back in the day when it was Chris Dahlman, Ray Brown, and Kevin Gogan? Dahlman wasn't the best center in the world. No, he wasn't. He was an average center at best. But guess what? Gogan and Brown in pass pro, you always saw their inside arms spread out, helping Dahlman. Definitely in pass pro. I don't know what it is with Tomlinson and Pearson, but they don't. I don't know.
Yo, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cut you off on that, but Niner by Nature got me cracking up over here. He's like, this is going to piss you off, Mike. He's talking about my Jesse James talk. He's like, you got to say it in Greg Papa's voice, Nick.
Wow. Guys, speaking of Greg Papa, what the hell happened with Ted Robinson? Why did they let him go?
He's doing something else.
Yeah, but I thought Ted Robinson was good.
Yeah, no, I think it was his choice.
You're gonna go to the Raiders and bring a guy in from the Raiders?
Well, I mean, Papa was here last year also, but he wasn't doing the call, like he wasn't calling the radios. But I mean, it is what it is. I don't fuck that guy. You guys know I can't stand him. So
yo, next time we go out the home opener, I'm getting Greg Papa to say, "This is Greg Papa, and you're listening to nothing but Niners."
as long as I'm the one doing the editing on the podcast, you're never gonna hear that. So you can do whatever you want. It's never gonna make the cut. You better learn to edit then, because it's not making the cut, bro. That's not gonna be on there at all.
Hey, guys, I just got one question real quick. Was there any names brought up today about strength and conditioning coach?
No, I didn't see anything out there. I'll be honest with you guys. It's my mother's birthday, and I was kind of offline today. I got to pop in every once in a while, but I didn't see anything about that. I saw Nick shaking his head no. So Tony, unless you heard something about it, there's no.
No, I was working all day.
All right, cool. So let's move on to the next topic, and I want to bring this one. This is going to be a lot of fun, at least I think. Hopefully, this doesn't turn into a debate. But right now, there's rumors floating around about Von Miller being on the trade block. Him and John Elway are having some friction here, right? So we have Von Miller on the trade block, and we have either Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham. So look at me. Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham are the same, and your other option is Von Miller. Which one are you trading for and why? You can say wide receiver or Miller.
Oh, God.
You don't have to give me a name as to which wide receiver you want, but which one of those two are you trading for and why? Because that is something special.
That's easy for me. I'm going Von Miller. It's easy for me. I'm going the defensive side of the ball because Kyle Shanahan can get receivers open. Robert Saleh doesn't have the talent on defense. You put Von Miller on this side of the ball, it's helping our defense. We're going from a 13th to a 7th, just that easily. Because I have faith in Kyle Shanahan getting receivers open. So that's easy for me. Von Miller all day long.
Can I push this answer off till the franchise tags go out?
No.
No. Come on, we got to do this exercise right now. You got wide receiver, OBJ or AB, or you have Von Miller. Who you taking?
How old is Von Miller? How old is he?
I'll pull it up really quick. He's not that old though. I think
have...
if I had to guess, I would guess like 28 tops, but I'm not 100% sure. Here we go. I got it right here. Click the page. He was born in 1989. He's 29. He'll be 30 by the time the season rolls around. Ooh. That makes it even better, baby. But come on now. Pass rushers get stronger, baby. They don't get weaker. They get stronger. What's up?
Damn, I'm stumped right now. I don't know which way to go.
Come on now. You want to improve that offense? You want to improve the defense? Either way, it's an upgrade right now, immediately. You still got the draft coming. You still got free agency coming. You got to trade for one of these guys right now. Von Miller or your wide receiver choice between Odell Beckham or Antonio Brown. Odell Cornelius Beckham, OCB. Y'all calling him OBJ.
I don't know,
Cornelius. Man. This guy's name is Cornelius. That's why his hair is blonde. That's the name of the rooster in the cornflakes box.
Man, I really don't know.
Really?
I I really don't know which way to go. I really don't.
Come on, Tony. You don't.
I'm leaning towards Von Miller. I am.
Damn.
I'm leaning towards Von Miller, but I will say this: just the thought of that offense with either a Brown or a Beckham, that's scary, man.
Mm-hmm. It is.
That's freaking scary, man.
The thought of that offense with one of those guys,
I guess I'm saying Von Miller because we have such a damn need for an edge guy. But man, I don't know.
All right, here's the flip side to it, right? If you take whichever one you take, you're going to assume that you address the opposite with the overall with your top pick in the draft. There's no wide receiver worth taking at 2, right?
Yeah, so no, I would go receiver then.
So you take one.
But wait a second, but no, because now there's free agents.
Oh shit!
Now there's free agents.
All right, so let me pull up the list of wide receiver free agents. Okay, let me do that really quick. Hold on. Where'd it go?
Floyd, I want Michael Floyd.
Oh, you trying to poke at me? Okay, you poking the bear. You poke the bear, you get the bear, baby.
I'm joking.
Let me see. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Oh, my phone's at 5%. I can't even read the screen right now.
Mine's at 6, and it's about to die.
Yeah, we got to wrap this thing up over here. But it's very interesting, man. So, do you have a final answer for me? Which one are you going to take?
God, this is hard. Damn. All right, fuck it. Free agency, there's a lot of defensive ends. The draft is heavy in pass rushers. Weak in the draft for receivers and weak in free agency receivers. I'm trading for one of the receivers.
You got to, because you're looking at Larry Fitzgerald, Randall Cobb, Dante Moncrief. Like, none of these guys are Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham Jr. talent.
You don't have to.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Nick. You have to. Listen,
Bro, we just had a tight end with 1,300 yards receiving. Yeah. We can get receiving yards with this offense. You need a Von Miller type player.
Who's our leading wide receiver this year, Nick?
George Kittle.
No, he was definitely not our leading wide receiver this year.
He was the leading receiver.
I said he was our leading wide receiver this year.
Pettis.
Kendrick Bourne.
Look at y'all arguing. That's my point. I rest my case.
Yeah, but dude, you know how Jimmy Garoppolo is anyway. He spreads the ball around. It's not going to be a one-man show when he comes back.
Yeah, okay. You say that. You say that if you want to.
Hey, you know who Jimmy likes though?
Jimmy
likes himself some Trent Taylor.
Look, everybody in the chat's arguing too. Nick, Kendrick Bourne, Pettis.
Exactly. That's my entire point. That's why.
All bullshit aside, last 5 games, Pettis played good, bro. He came on strong.
He did.
Yeah, but he's still not Antonio Brown or OBJ. But I'm not letting a Von Miller go if we can.
He'll be our OBJ with his purple, red, blue hair.
Von Miller, 30 years old, or Odell Beckham Jr., 26. Give me OBJ. All right, fine. We might not get to the quarterback the way we need to, right? But our defense was ranked 13th this year. We were ranked 13th this year without Von Miller. Now all of a sudden we can put up another 14 points a game.
I can't believe I just heard that from you. You're hurting me tonight, bro.
Easy money, baby.
You're hurting me tonight. We might not be able to get to. We might not be able to get to the quarterback, but all year that's all you did was bitch.
We don't need Von Miller because we can draft Nick Bosa or Polite or Allen. We get the trade. You have to go for the hotter commodity, bro. Listen, what makes anything valuable? It's rarity. It's rarity. That's what makes something valuable. We don't need to get a Von Miller because we have 5 options in the draft, or we have DeMarcus Lawrence, or we have all the other guys in free agency that we can go out and get, and Fowler or Frank Clark. We got all these other edge guys that we can get. There's 10 guys that you can get to improve us on edge. There's 10 guys that you can get, literally 10.
The pool for the wide receivers, free agency, and draft is a lot weaker than the pool of the defensive end edge rushers. So, knowing that it's so damn weak, that's where you have to go out and pick the guy you want and trade for him. And then you fall back, and then you add who you want as a free agent and draft. I've never seen an edge class in free agency. Well, we don't know free agency because of the franchise tag. But this is a very deep class for defensive ends. It is.
That's how you determine your value.
Exactly.
That's it. That's it. You gotta step back and not make an emotional decision and go for logic. You have to do what's best for your team. You have more options, more chances, and more choices in one of these two categories. Wide receiver ain't one of them.
Yo, Rhodes is just trolling me, and Rhodes is just straight trolling me in the chat. Everything's just Josh Allen for Nick. Josh Allen for Nick. I fucking love him. Like, oh God, I love our fans, man. I really do. I really do. Yo, Mike, what did you say that it goes by what? You were saying, I forget what you were saying. You were saying something about you have to go by.
Thanks for paying attention to me, number one.
No, well, you guys talked a lot more. I had something I was going to say, and then
I was saying that you make your decision based off of what makes something valuable is rarity. Is that what
rarity? And I was going to say that's why people watch our show, because look at us, a bunch of idiots just sitting around talking football, and we're very rare. So
Yo, I'm not going to lie to you. I have every channel in the world, and I literally mean in the world with my television provider, right? And I was in the living room holding my baby, and I went to Match Center. I just wanted to see something competitive tonight. Basketball, football. There were no games on that interested me tonight. No UFC, no boxing. I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, there's not even any 49ers to watch. There's nothing to do. I was like, all right, Nick is doing the show. I'm jumping on. I got to do the show. I needed this fix, and that's why people support us, because they feel the way that we do. And we're just getting started, man. This offseason is going to be so much better than what they expect. I'm excited about it, man. I really
can't wait for our new shirt release. I can't wait for that. That's going to be so much fun.
So Nick, did Tony and I change your mind?
No, I'm still staying Von Miller.
You're whack, man. You're stubborn just for the sake of being stubborn.
Exactly. Whenever I can distree with you, I'm going to disagree with you.
I know.
That's how you are. So.
All right, Nick. What would you give up for Von Miller?
Kyle Shanahan's wife.
Come on, I got 4% left, bro. Let's be serious.
Age considering
30 years old. When the season starts, he'll be 30.
I'd probably give up a second this year and a fourth next year.
You think that could get it done? Knowing what
the friendship that John Lynch and John Elway have, yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know where Mike went, but NBA National Boring Association, right? Y'all blessed, fam. Nick and Mike in the last hour, our head office did some future draft guys. Is nothing but Niners from New York. No, we are not. We are from the United States of America. No. We are myself is from New Jersey. Mike is from Pennsylvania, but lives on a New Jersey PA border. Tony lives in New Jersey as well. Billy Blade, we need Josh Allen. Nick, ASAP. You guys are straight trolling me. Please don't draft Josh Allen, please. I just don't want to have to tell everybody that you guys I was right. Please don't. But we got guys from all over. We got guys in the UK, we got guys in Canada, got guys in Germany, got guys in Cali. The whole Nothing But Niners crew is spread out. We spread our offense out pretty good. So
yo, your trade of a second and a fourth is not getting it done for Von Miller. Not even close.
Why? He's 30 years old. He doesn't have that much, remember?
He's 30 years old. And like I said, pass rushers don't get slower, they get stronger. So he's gonna have more speed, more power, and that's gonna work in his favor. The other thing is that there's two players that affect the games. There's quarterbacks and the people who can prevent quarterbacks, and that's specifically pass rushers, not wide receivers. The second most important player on the field is the person going after the quarterback. Von Miller's not walking away for a second and a fourth. No matter you put OBJ, Antonio Brown, and Von Miller on the same platform, Von Miller's going to get you more every time.
Yeah, because he's a better player, and that's why you should go with him.
He's going to get more. But I'm just saying that your second and fourth isn't going to do it for you. It's even more of a reason. It's even more of a reason to go with the wide receiver.
Yeah. Rhodes, I got you, bro. New NBN shirts. Nick loves Josh Allen. That's what he said.
All right, fellas, I'm down to 1%. I'm going to go before it just shuts off.
Yeah, I'm starting to hurt sitting in this chair. But
all right, Tony, be safe, man. Safe travels out there, all right?
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
All right.
See you, Tony.
Night.
Somebody said this is the Jersey Shore hour.
I don't even know what because we're all from Jersey. All three of us are Jersey guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cabs are here.
I've never in my entire life watched a single episode of Jersey Shore.
Me either. I actually almost fought them guys when we were down the Jersey Shore one year in Seaside. This is when Snooki was all big.
All big. I don't even know what you mean by that. I'm not going there, bro. I'm not going.
What about Nick Mullins? You put him in that trade
for the Broncos. See, I don't think Nick Mullins has a trade value that people think he does. I really don't. I think that on our best day, Nick Mullins is worth a 4th-round pick tops. On our best day, no one's giving up anything for Nick Mullins.
I'd say 3 on best.
I think you're saying that just to argue with me. Tell the truth.
I'll say.
Come on,
bro. 3rd round, 32nd pick.
It's just not going to happen. The last pick of the 3rd round. You're the contrarian to your core, baby. But yeah, no. Like I get it. I understand why people are so high on him and they think that he's whatever. But I think the Broncos. I don't know what's going on with that team. I'll be honest with you guys. I can't call it. Don't they still have Chad Kelly? Is he still there?
Yeah, in Case Keenum.
Did Chad Kelly get any playtime this season though?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I would definitely put him in before I start trading for quarterbacks. Chad Kelly had some promise. He had a lot of off-field issues and things like that, and attitude and all, but he had some promise. And
I got one for him.
So let's talk about something really quick. And I know this is the fantasy world. We had a lot of fans saying,
"Oh, that's right, Chad Kelly got cut because he got arrested."
Oh shit!
I forgot about that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There were a lot of fans that were talking about we might not need Jimmy Garoppolo. We can get out of his contract. Nick Mullins is playing okay. Can we put that to bed? Can we dead that here on the air? Like
just like this. Nighty night.
Yeah, I like guys, come on, no. Nick Mullins is not better or as good as Jimmy Garoppolo. He's just not. He's not. And that's it. And listen, I have a $100 bet already pending for the 49ers to make the Super Bowl this coming season. Not the
Which you already had last year.
Right. I made that bet at the beginning of last season. Right?
Well, this season, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the beginning of this season. This schedule is really freaking tough. This is a tough ass schedule, bro. Like I could see us going 2-14 from this schedule. I'm not joking.
Please no. Please no.
I don't want us to. Come on now. I don't want us to.
We might if we draft Josh Allen.
I'm letting my bet ride. If we can go ahead and secure edge and give Kyle Shanahan just one legit weapon on offense, I think we'll be okay. And keep guys healthy. We have no idea what this team is going to look like next year. What we tried out in week 1 is going to be completely different than what we tried it out in week 6 this season. And it's going to be even more different than what we tried it out week 17 this season. The guys change so frequently. We were talking about, this being year 1 for Jimmy Garoppolo. We're right back to where we started. He's still in year 1 when he comes away from this injury. You have Jerick McKinnon. It's going to be also a year 1 player in this system. You know what I mean? There's a lot of guys who we were hoping took steps forward. Adrian Colbert, we're back at the tail end of his year 1. Jaquiski Tartt, this season didn't do a whole lot for him either. It's a lot of guys that just fell by the wayside and didn't get a chance to do anything productive. Kwan Williams, He's another one of those guys. I'd love to see him a lot more this season. We have to temper our expectations. I'm letting my bet ride, however, but it's something that I'm going to keep my eye on. Obviously, I want to see how the guys can weather the storm, the health. You know, we talked about at the very beginning of the show that we made the changes with the strength and conditioning coach and Ray Wright. We'll see if that was the right move. We don't know, like Nick was saying, and he alluded to it. The Niners were suffering with injury bug before Ray Wright got here. You know, for the last 4 seasons, it's been a thing. It's been an ongoing thing. But you know what's been consistent those 4 years? That damn hill. It's that damn hill, bro.
No, that hill's been there for 2.
No.
Yeah, Ray Wright brought that with him.
I thought Tom Sula used that hill.
No, Ray Wright brought that with him.
Damn, that feels like a lifetime ago. I was reading those articles about that stupid hill. That shit's got to go, bro. It's got to go. It has to go. And, yeah, so as far as fantasy goes, we talked about the wide receiver position. We talked about edge guys. We talked about tight ends. Was there anything else? We talked about the coaching staff. Was there anything else, fantasy world, that you could make a change and the Niners, you think it would propel us to this, a deep playoff push?
E.T. phone home.
I don't even know what that means. Guys.
Earl Thomas, baby.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm going to wrap this up because Nick is hallucinating. He just went back to 1984 on this.
Earl Thomas, E.T. I didn't have to blow on my finger, though.
All right, I get you. Okay, E.T., I got you. I'm with you now. All right, I can feel that. I feel that. I like that. Yeah. I like the Earl Thomas thing.
Yeah, I definitely want to take Earl Thomas this year if we can get him. I just think he'll help propel younger guys.
Is he a free agent or is he
he's a free agent this year?
Free agent, right? Wow. But he's coming back off of that major injury. Serious injury. That stuff scares me, man. We want Nick Bosa coming off a serious injury. Earl Thomas coming off a serious injury. Like this stuff kind of, gives me a little bit of pause.
That'll be one of our new shirts if he comes here.
Pause?
ET phone home with Earl Thomas on it.
Where's his home? In Seattle. We don't want him phoning them.
No, it'll be for us once in a Niners uniform.
Shirts.
The East Coast time zone has some crazy things going on.
Yeah, no, they're talking because of you over here fingering the camera. I didn't mean it that way. Oh God, we got to wrap this thing up. Let's get out of here, man. That is not what I meant, bro. That's not. That's not how I meant it, man. Listen, guys, we want to thank you guys for checking us out. Nick has got the. Let me put the camera on Nick really quick.
I can't do this shit.
He's holding up the Birth of the Dynasty shirt, guys. They're available. Let us know if you guys are interested. They don't have to come in black or white. They don't have to come in T-shirts or hoodies. You guys let us know what you want them on. We have the, what is it, Fitbit shirts?
The dry fit.
Dry fit. Dry fits, the muscle shirts, like the Under Armour type things. If you guys want those, there's an extra $5 for it. But we're about to launch a website that is going to come up with all kinds of good stuff for you guys. Not just shirts, guys. You want this on sweatpants. You want this on mugs. Y'all, never mind. Let me chill. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
This all mouse pads.
Yo, this offseason is gonna be great for NV Niners, guys. Stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. I
got everybody calling Earl Thomas ET now in the chat.
Like, subscribe, hit the notifications. Keep your finger out of the camera, guys. Be safe out there. My name is Mike. I am 49ers Mike _NF. Nick, tell them who you are.
I am 49er Faithful 365 on Twitter. Same as on Instagram, 49er Faithful 365. You can follow us on Nothing But 9 ERS on Twitter. Nothing But 9 ERS on Snapchat. Nothing But Niners all spelled out on Instagram and Facebook. And you can check out our website, nothingbutniners.com, which, like Mike said, will be getting a huge upgrade this offseason. But make sure that you check that out. You can find all of our social media there, all of our great articles from the slew of writers that we have. Got guys representing us in the UK, guys in Germany, got guys in Canada, got guys in Cali, New Jersey, PA, all over the place. And then Rhodes. No Joe. No Josh Allen, buddy. No Josh Allen. But anyway, guys, thanks for joining in on us as always.
Breaking news. The 49ers have just signed defensive end Cameron Lewis-Moore. Cameron Lewis-Moore was drafted by the Baltimore Ravens in the 6th round of the 2015 NFL draft. He has been signed by the 49ers today, apparently. He played last season with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but only in the practice squad. Before that, he was only with the practice squad with the Ravens. And before that, he was only with the practice squad with the Bears. So he spent 2013 to 2016 with the Baltimore Ravens. He's been a practice squad body since then. He is now with the 49ers. It sounds like it's time to start building up to that 90-man roster. So that is breaking news. Do we do a separate video for this? Like, do I have to do this all over again?
No, we did it already.
We got to change the title of this video. We got to put /breaking news.
/breaking news. Mike and Nick are crazy New Jerseyans. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have. Hopefully we'll have our shirt design released sometime this week. And guys, I don't know what else to tell you to do on Sunday. Yeah. So welcome Lewis-Moore to the team. Davis Abraham said that. David Kajar said Josh Allen. Ali Bear, go Niners. Robert Gibby, Josh Allen, the GOAT. You guys are just trolling now. I'm not even going to look at the chat anymore. So, with all that being said, make sure you hit nothingbutniners.com. Check out all of our social media. Give us a follow, like, subscribe. Leave us a comment on our SoundCloud or our iTunes. Give us a rate and a review on there as well. And follow me, 49er Faithful 365 on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you guys tweet out WPMOY Challenge Gold.
It's over, bro.
No, 10 days. 10 days left.
I thought it ended today.
No, 10 days left, and I just tweeted out 100 times today. So, and if my pain pills start to kick in later, I'm going to probably do another 100. So, I'm going to flood your timelines with Robbie Gold. So, guys, hit us up. You know where to find us.
Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.
We out.